Okay. I figured out what the problem was. And it wasn't Streamlabs. You know how I said I didn't have that much space on my PC? Well, out of 476 gigabytes, I had 1 gigabyte left. Because I downloaded House Flipper. And House Flipper was really big, so it was downloading yesterday, so I was playing Powerwash, so that's why everything was kind of fine. And that's why everything was fucked up today. So it's not my settings, it's not any updates, it's not any catches, it's just the space on here. Which, I have enough money right now where I'm just gonna go buy like an external hard drive or some shit and move a lot of my old stuff onto that. And then everything should be fine for like the next one. But right now, everything should be perfectly okay. I freed up some space. This is why we keep track of things. You know what? Shush. I didn't know it went down to fucking 1 gigabyte, okay? I tried my best. I did my best. Let me turn on some fucking music again. Yeah, at least I found the issue. Hopefully this will be the last goddamn time. Oh, I hate doing this. Alright, let me close out all this shit. Okay, just checking, my connection. Stream quality is good. It fucking better be. I'm gonna start over my relaxing music to chill out to. Alright. Now. Full screen window capture. Okay. I'm gonna open Powerwash. And if it fucks up again, we might just chill by doing something else too. I don't know. Because Powerwash is, actually very demanding on the computer. Yeah, it's going yellow. It's experiencing issues already. No, we're gonna turn that off. We're gonna get rid of that. Fuck. Why am I still dropping frames? Stop it. Stop it! Good. Meh. Yeah. I just gotta get rid of some more, apparently. Which, whatever, you know? Meanwhile, at least we can, like, talk while I do it. Part of it, I just have the coat and then I'll be done for reals. That's nice! Alright. We'll get rid of these because I'm not friends with them anymore. I'm just gonna delete that shit. Okay. I know I was talking about it with Tis the other day, about Utao and how English banks take up a shit ton of space. Just one bank. Unzipped. Like, not like in a RAW file or a zip file. It takes up like multiple gigabytes. So that's why I'm like, Yep, that freed up space. I hope whatever you're working on goes well. So we're just gonna chill for a little itty bitty. While I go through and try to make this easier. Itty bitty titty. It was like, let's record multiple pictures and appends for this 3 million line reckless. Oh yeah, I forgot that you know what you know what Utao is. Yeah, I've got like a shit ton of VCVs on here, and then old versions of mine. Like, so fucking many of them that I really don't need. And I know that they're taking up a shit ton. Like, the majority of the space that's being taken up on my computer is through this. How do people do that is beyond me. Hello, Inoris! I'm just... Haha, I'm basically, trying to free up space on my fucking computer. Because it keeps crashing on me whenever I try to open Powerwash. Because I downloaded House Flipper. Oh, that's good, digits. A finished bang could be. Beyond a new towel since I can't really sing. Are you winning, son? I'm trying to. Okay. It says my streaming quality's good again. Alright, so I'll be able to see how many frames I'm dropping now. I can keep an eye on that. All this water in the woods seems like you're winning. Well, isn't it calming? I would say it is, right? What are you winning, son? Yeah, if you're gonna make a new towel, just don't get anywhere near the fucking community, whatever you do. Do not. If you think VTubing is drama-filled, you don't want to fucking see the Utah community. They're like rabid animals. Yeah, we'll help you. I've been telling any VTuber that's like, oh, I found this thing called Utah, let me start doing it, and I'm like, don't. Don't commit your life to it, just don't. Don't fuck with your life like that. I just remember that Wolf Nebula sent me a bank and it's called Dante Chicken Buckets. Eat them, spicy boys. I don't know why the folder is named that, but hey, I've got it. So there's that. Let's delete that beat. Eat them, spicy boys. Inca anal. I was never one to, like, name my folders and all my files and stuff funny shit, but... yeah. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. Alright, freeing up a little bit more, little by little. That is Dedimas. I don't know, but it sounds great. What is Dedimas? I don't know what you mean. Oh, tiramisu? That's typed, that's typed like this. It's an Italian dessert, with, like, coffee liqueur and ladyfingers and, like, a bit of, like, pudding, I think? Yeah, because I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, digits? But yeah, and my mom makes it a lot, but she tends to put a little bit too much liqueur in it, so you can get drunk while eating it. But I like it. It's very good. Coffee desserts are very nice. I'll delete this one. Love it, but what vocal quality that is beyond me. To be fair, once I started VTubing, a lot of my Utah stuff just like dropped off the face of the earth, and honestly, oh, so good on my brain. Alright, so we've got... Okay. Alright. I think I'm gonna do a little bit more, try and see what else I can get rid of, but I think we're on our way to just about playing Powerwash, but... Yeah, it can be. And a lot of the times I think to myself, I'm like, well, if I went on T, then I can't do my girl's voice anymore. And I'm still a little sad about that. Because, why should I go oh, thank you for subscribing, Nutties! Oh, thank you. And I don't know what to say. Oh my god, I still have a Maya on my computer. You're killing this game. Look at all that water. Oh, now I see what you meant before. Alright, 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 alright. Gives you kisses. Thank you. Why the fuck do I have... Oh, yeah, that's right. I have all those, I have all those old blanks, or old banks from, Kohaku Medi. Like, Ariel, Lyra, Flowland, Highwire, and Stilt. Never even fucking used them. Founder badge. Oh, hey! I didn't give you one, though. How did this happen? Is that just because enough people subscribed? Bruh. No idea who they are. The clown one. How do you not know who Medi is, Digits? Kohaku Meri? How do you not know that? She's like one of the most popular out there right now. You're the first subs to a channel. Ah. Alright. Should have enough room to start up Powerwash, but if it fucks up again, I'll think of something else that we can do. No idea. Look, Ike and the others go through this with me all the time. Well, I also live under a rock. I know nothing. There we go. Okay. Alright, so far so good. We're dropping a few frames, but... The connection's doing fine, at least. You went to bed. I leave. Have a good stream, boss. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Very much so. I'm gonna kill your recycling bin. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just uploading something real quick. It's probably gonna take a little while. I should really just get rid of, like... Oh my god, I completely fucking forgot that I had these. Why didn't I forget? I had, like, Vocaloids on my computer, and I'm like, what's taking up so much room? When Vocaloids are, like, the same fucking size as a goddamn video game. Alright, we're still losing frames. Had to refresh. Anyways, yes, bye-bye. Bye-bye! Oh, I just cracked my fucking neck. Oof. Yeah, we'll get rid of... Who the fuck is Enu? Don't know that. So we'll see how much that saves up when I get rid of them all. I don't even have it installed on my computer anymore. Alright, so we're still consistently losing frames, but it's not like by a huge amount, so the stream quality is still good. How many VBs do you have? Not as many as you think. Most of them are my own. God. Yeah. That's not BB stuff though. I'll get rid of Zuko as much as I love her. Keep Index and Dinah, because I bought those, so I fuck when I get rid of them. Seems I have freed up enough space for now. Especially since the frame dropping has actually stopped. Yes, you may come on call with me. So now the frame dropping has stopped. So we're good. Yeah, I like Dex. I don't like Dinah. Dinah can suck my crayon. Just a minute, Kip. I have to turn on your little thingy again. Actually, wait, no, it's already on. You're good. There we go. So we lose a frame here and there, maybe, but all in all, we're pretty good.
I am kissing you.
Hi. Mwah.
Mwah.
Oh, it's a witch hat. Oh, okay. I'm looking at DM Sketch's Gooter's pick, and I'm like, what the fuck is that giant horn thing they're carrying? And I'm like, oh, okay, it's a...
Oh, fuck, Ditches doesn't know about my Halloween costume. Hi!
Wait a minute, did you fucking change it? And Wait, I gotta turn, I gotta turn down my fucking, my volume, or I'm gonna blow out people's ears. Not a Gumi native in Sonic God. Well, Gumi is fucking good. Anyway, I can't believe you changed your fucking PNG to that.
This is my PNG until October ends. This is my Halloween costume. I'm Steve Minecraft.
I'm Steve.
Excuse me, what is that? I'm Steve Minecraft. How could you be so
How could you be so rude?
So rude.
You're Minecraft phobic.
Minecraft, you're block phobic, okay?
Alright, let's hope that this loads and doesn't crash on me when it goes through. Crossing my fingers. Because the stream's doing well now. Yeah, I gotta buy, I guess tomorrow I can, like, go to Walmart or something and pick out an extended drive. Because when I transferred all my stuff over to this computer, it already took up like 200 gigabytes. So, yeah.
Ouchie.
And look at how smooth it is! Look at how smooth!
I would.
Oh, shit. I forgot.
It's okay. You're fine.
Alright, here we go. Now that I'm sure that it's gonna work. There you go.
Thank you.
Yep. Look how smooth.
Oh,
Absolutely no stuttering. So it was all just me not having... I didn't know, like... I didn't know that, your computer could just fuck up that much when it doesn't have space.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's how much it affected it.
I'm old and full of things, please.
You know, like, this computer's what? Maybe a year old? It's not like, anything that should need, you know. Use 10% of your HDD, or it was 15. Not sure, man. Oh, that's where it all is. There we go.
I'm so excited. I'm almost done with my PNG. I'm so
I know,
excited.
I'm happy too! Wide-eyed Mr. Kip.
Mr. Kipper Cap.
Mr. Kippy Cat. Alright. I gotta give myself, like, a mission here. I gotta do the outside first, then you focus on the spinning shit. It's really fucking hard to, but here we go.
For this, like, thing that I'm doing, I changed my PNG until October ends. And, I also changed the font in my chat to Minecraft font.
Oh my god.
And I'm also going to change my overlay, and it's going to be Minecraft themed.
You're just going all out, sir.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look at me, like, by default. Like, you can...
Yeah, as
I
if
go
you
all
don't
out on
already go
everything.
all out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is that on there that's not coming off? There we go. While Ku in his just normal state is a Halloween costume. I need Gus to finish that fucking art. I need it. I told him it needs to be done by the end of...
Gus yells at you.
Huh?
Gus yells at you.
Gus yells at me. What?
No, Gus yells at you. I'm yelling at Gus.
Oh. I was like, wait a minute. No, he doesn't. But yeah, because I told him by the end, like, it has to be done before October 31st. It has to be. It's spooky. I can't just not release it during spooky season. And if it's done before October, then I can use it as a PNG for a little bit and just scare everyone. And I want to scare people. What?
I know you do, That's...
You know, I was thinking of posting on Twitter earlier. Just be like, I love my boyfriend. And you know what? If you don't like that, fuck you. I don't care how much PDA I'm showing. Nah. Well, it's just become like a mainstay. You're just here. I don't even like put it on the stream anymore. It's like expected.
Yeah.
It's like if you're in Ku's stream, you're gonna hear Q. One does not come without the other.
You're my other half.
Oh my god.
Except you're not, because you're my boyfriend and I already have a husband.
And there could be more in the future. I'm pretty happy with 2, though.
Yeah. Okay, so that's all done. Please finish. Why isn't the... Oh, there we go.
You're adorable, Digits.
Oh. Aww. To be cute. There we go. Get out of my way, horse! Get your ass out of my face. I wish they would, you know, shut off the fucking carousel while I try to clean it. That would be nice. Okay, awoo. Awoo.
I considered werewolf for a Halloween costume, Kip Halloween costume, but
What? But what? Oh. What? Hello? Kip? I can't hear you. Oh, it's my own fucking... Wait a minute. It's my own... Just give him a moment. It's not his fault. Let me, Hello?
hello.
There we go. My connection for some reason was like fucking up. I was like, what the hell's going on?
I was silenced.
As I was fucking saying, I considered a werewolf, and then I considered Bo, and then I considered you.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Wait, as costumes?
as costumes, yeah.
Oh my god,
And
dressing up as each other.
But I like Steve Minecraft, and I figured it would be really funny just
Well,
to
you're
dress up
named
as
that
Steve
in the
Minecraft.
group chat.
I am.
This just reminds me about when Juliet's server, I'm just named Kuntu.
I like Juliet. She seems cool.
She's really cool. She's really fucking funny too, because she's just so unabashedly like. I think the reason I like her so much is because she shares a lot in common. We both unabashedly love our boyfriends, and aren't afraid to say it. Like she'll just come along like every now and then. She'll just go, you know what? I'm in the mood for not, and then that's all she posts. And she just leaves it at that, and you can't. There's no fucking room for debate or discussion, and I love it. She's so fucking funny.
I like that.
Huh?
I like that lady. She's fun.
The fellow bunny.
Hello. Bunyui.
Bunyui.
My voice sounds higher on your stream. That might just be.
Well, it's not like I have any sort of like program that's purposely making you higher.
Yeah.
No, Kip, it's a secret. I'm secretly trying to destroy your image.
No, please.
It's
My
like, oh
image.
no, don't destroy my image.
Oh no.
Why won't this fucking... I hate the ones like this that are like really stuck on. It's not satisfying to get rid of that because it doesn't come off all in one.
Ooh, that's interesting. Nothing. I'm just messing around with the theme.
The team. Gonna
The team.
move that team.
The team goes
team.
that.
It goes crack. Give it up, give it up, bap. Boom. I don't know how the full thing goes anymore, but I'm trying.
I don't either. But
I just know that it ends with and a boom.
I remember
That was
watching-
good internet time.
like it was.
dude.
I remember watching what was it? An edit that somebody made. Mr. Krabs doing it. It's like, hello, radio station. Can you play the song that goes? And then it just did that.
I think I remember seeing that too, actually.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, there's something I just because I noticed it just the other week. And I'm not. I know people are gonna take this as like, stop worrying about it, just have fun. But I'm also like a little, because I wanna put out content that you guys enjoy, of course, because that's what a VTuber is. You're an entertainer. That's your fucking job. So, but I've noticed like viewer averages have been going down, and I wonder if it's the type of games I've been picking lately.
It's probably that people
Or is
are
it?
going to school.
Or no? Yeah, that's right. Fuck. Never mind. I forgot about that. I forgot that people have school. Because I was like, it only happened within like the past few weeks.
Is it me?
Is it
Am
me?
I the problem?
But no, I'm doing good. Because I would get like at least like 10 a stream, and now it's like back to 5, and I'm like, okay, I see now. School is death. I was also thinking earlier, I was like, you know, I told everyone I would go back to college in the spring. And oh, am I not fucking ready for that? First of all, because I have to save up money for it. So I might not actually be able to afford it by the time I get there. Or by the time it gets to spring. In which case, I'll still, like, go to college. Like, I'm still gonna finish my associates. Put this much fucking time and money and effort and madness into it, I might as well. But I'm also thinking, I'm like, by the time that rolls around, I'm probably not gonna be ready for it. Which, like, the only reason anything ever happened was because of COVID. Like, if COVID hadn't happened, I would have already been done by now. Like, it fucked up so much of my semester.
I think it's the same case for Cyrus. I don't really know like how the whole scenario goes down, but I really feel like if like COVID didn't happen, then he would be done right now, and then his parents would be off his case. Like,
Why haven't you finished school
Oh,
yet?
I know for a fact that when the time comes around and I, you know, obviously won't have the fucking money by then because it's over $1,000, you know? Just for one semester, not even including books and gas and all that other kind of shit. That, what am I trying to say? Then my parents are gonna be on my fucking case about it. No fucking doubt. Even though, you know, my sister and I are the first ones in our family to go to fucking college. So it's more like a, ha ha ha, you don't really have anywhere to stand when you talk about that. But
Yeah.
I hate it when the people that are like, oh, I didn't go to college, so either, but like they talk to you like, even though they didn't go, like they're like, they have something over you,
Yeah.
and I don't like that.
I don't know. My ex's mom was like, so where are you gonna go to college? This was a long time ago, but she was like, where are you gonna go to college? And I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to college. And she was like,
You're what?
yes, you are.
Excuse me?
And I was like, no, I'm not. I was like, I'm not going to college. Then she's like, well, what's your mom gonna say? I'm like, my mom's fine with it.
Because to be quite honest, especially if you're in art, going to college is pretty much useless.
And yeah, and she was like, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna go to college at all because I don't want to, and I feel like they would treat me like shit there, and I feel like I would do horrible, so I'm not going to college. That's
Yeah, why
just
waste
not
the
something
money
that I
if you
wanna
know that it's not
waste.
going to go well?
Yeah, I don't want to waste my time and money with that. And then she's like, yes, you do. And I'm like, girl, are you serious? And
Was she
then
like
my
a
ex was
Karen?
like, mom. She was absolutely a Karen. And my ex, he was like, mom, stop, you're scaring him. And I'm like, I'm not scared, bitch. I'm just angry.
I'm not scared. I don't fear you. Come over here, Susan. We'll duke it out right now.
Susan. I think that was her name, actually.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm just, you know, washing a horse's ass. It works.
Those people sound black. College isn't in for everyone. Least of all me. You should have seen me in high school, bro.
The only reason I did good in high school was because if I didn't, I would have literally nothing to support myself.
Yeah.
Like, I had to, because we didn't have the money, we didn't have the opportunities and shit. Like, we were just above the level for, like, getting shit paid for me. Because of, like just about, like, my parents just earned barely too much, even though it wasn't enough. Anyway. So, if I didn't fucking do something, like, if I didn't do that, I was gonna be screwed.
So funny. My mom was I begged and pleaded with my mom from like what, sophomore to junior year. Like mom, I need to drop out. Like this is taking a toll on me, and like the situation here
It wasn't worth it.
at home is terrible. I don't want to go to school anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Please let me drop out. And then she's like,
No, you can't because of this, this, and this.
and then like the beginning of senior year, she's like, you want to drop out? she was like, you never do your work, and everything's all stupid. And I was like, yes, bitch. That's what I've been trying to ask.
See,
for,
if
like,
anything,
years.
like, I understand wanting to drop out, but in high school, like, the only reason I wouldn't do that is because having a high school diploma gets you way more than a college diploma ever will. Like, that's integral to a lot of fucking jobs. Like, they won't let you work unless you have a high school diploma. Because my mom dropped out. And she had to get a GED and all this other stuff, and because she never finished high school, she's, like, cut off from a lot of, opportunities and shit.
Well, it's a good thing my dream job is to be an entertainer rather than anything else.
I would love to be just a regular fucking entertainer, man. If I could do this as a full-time job, I would enjoy it so much. Like, my ADHD works so fucking well for this. Because I've always got something to talk about. Always got something to do, always got something to say. Always got some sort of fucking idea or tangent to go off of and fill the empty space. Plumbing sounds neat. I mean, yeah, as long as you don't have the crack kills, you know? Gotta pull up your fucking pants.
I'm getting my degree, but I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing with my life. I'm just here because I'm supposed to. No! I'm so sorry.
The longer I VTube, the longer I'm like, do I want to go into a strict sort of job?
No.
No, I don't. Because I enjoy it. And a lot of people are like, well, you shouldn't, like, make things you enjoy into a job, because then eventually you'll hate it. But you gotta imagine, like, with streaming, I don't have to, I don't have to edit videos and shit on the fly. I don't have to deal with a YouTube algorithm. Like, there's so many cool, better things about it.
You technically do have to deal with the YouTube algorithm if you want to, like, expand, I guess.
Well, once you become an affiliate, you can't stream on YouTube at all.
Oh.
Like, you're cut off from it. You're allowed to post things to YouTube as an archive, but you're not allowed to stream on it, because once you're an affiliate, you're with Twitch.
Yeah.
So if you streamed on YouTube, you would be banned. Don't mind me, I'm just washing this horse's ass.
He needs to be clean, it's for his health.
It's for his health. Dirty boy! Oh, it's rust on there, that's why it was like so weird. Just right up the grundle. Alright, that's good. Horse rod. The horse rod.
Horse rod.
I have to wait for it to come right back up. Yeah. Because there's a bottom bit that I can't fucking wash when it's down.
Bottom, that's what I am. Lol.
Yeah, it is what you are.
Oh.
What, did you expect me to say something different?
I don't know, I expected you to just, like, laugh and then leave it.
I was like, no, you were your bottom. We both every single time in the group chat. We are both bottoms. At least to some extent. I mean, how else would you say it?
Key smash?
Key smash? No.
Key smash, that's
no,
how
it's just the.
It's called a key smash.
No.
Yes, that is
no.
what it's
No, you're wrong. You're
What do you mean I'm
wrong. You're wrong, boy.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it?
I'm gonna kiss
You gonna
you.
kiss me about it?
Beach.
Oh fuck.
Oh my god. Oh fuck.
Oh fuck.
I just realized this thing is like descending into my face.
Oh no!
What?
Colored it wrong. Oh god, I'm a terrible artist. Oh no. That fucking draw.
I'm going to piss on the moon.
I'm going to piss on the moon, hey man.
I still love that clip.
I do as well.
Why am I moving closer to this thing? You really shouldn't be.
No, no.
Ah, horse ass.
Where?
Right there, dude. Where else would it be?
I don't know, in a barn or something.
You can't unpiss the moon, He-Man.
I believe I'm finished. No, I'm not! There's one more thing I need to do.
I'm glad I did this today. Instead of something like... Because sometimes I just want to break from voice acting, you know? It'd be tiring. Oh, new job available. Washington, do you travel out of town? I've got a temple that's urgency in need of some... You mean urgently? I can tell this is Fortunately, as we were winding through Willow Creek, we encountered a group of monks walking against the traffic, and I pressed the accelerator instead of the brake. Excuse me?
Huh?
You pressed the what?
Huh?
Did this person run over a fucking monk?
I think that's what they're implying. Yeah, this is good. Oh, fuck, I completely forgot.
What?
I forgot a part on the PNG that I haven't colored yet. and I
Speaking of
probably-
parts forgotten, he said he's lined the whole thing, he just has to color it, I think, or render it or whatever. And there was something on the jacket that I'm like, wait a minute. Then I realized there's a part of Ku's design that I forgot to draw onto his blush. It's super small, so it's like really inconsequential, but I still had to like smack my forehead, like, god damn it. Because you know how much I checked that thing over. And I still forgot something.
It's okay, baby, I still
Which is just, it's okay, honey. I know your ass is flat. I still love you. I really hope that you know that by bringing that up, I'm not rubbing it in or anything. Like, I just really legitimately find that fucking hilarious.
I know. I do as well.
Come in. Is that you, Dana? Oh, well, I saw a female hand, okay? It was, 50-50. Hello? Did you say good morning? How am I? Tired, but I'm relaxing. Hi. I'm relaxing, but also laughing, yes. I'm playing a game. Yes. No, not with a P.
Ooh.
Oh my god. What? No. God, I hope not. Love you too, Mom. Night night. I love my mom.
That's great.
Relapse.
Relapsing?
Cause she's the type of mom that also like she buys the spooky pajamas. Like she has a gingerbread onesie.
Oh,
She's really cute.
your mom sounds so adorable.
Like of course like we have our bad interactions sometimes, but on the whole like she's a good mom. programming, but honestly, I can't do that as a regular job. The one I have right now is taking its toll on me. Oh wait, I really have not been fucking reading this. Oh god. You can't unpiss the voice acting. God, I tried voice acting for an LP I'm doing and I die after every recording. How do you do it? Well, you know the guy who voices SpongeBob, right? That voice, like, apparently does hurt his throat. Like, sometimes that's how, you know, your voice just gets fucked. That's just what happens sometimes. But it's being able to properly recover afterwards and know how to use certain techniques, not to go out of your range too much to destroy your throat, stuff like that. Building up, you know, just like building up your skills and shit. Forget Hex's tail line. She also, my mom, just because I'm thinking about it again, she brought this thing to my niece where it's like it's a little cauldron. So it had these little miniature things, like a fairy garden, but Halloween themed.
Yeah.
That she could do, and she went over on like Friday, and they like had a little craft day. It was really cute.
Oh.
Like my mom is where I get all of my art skills from. Because she was the one that got me into crafts and everything when I was little, and taught me how to color and everything. She's really good at painting. She just doesn't have the time. She's really like stretched thin. I'm hoping to one day like make enough money that I can like take her to Italy like she wants. My sister says she's gonna take her, but I also want to like give her something nice too, you know? Because my sister, of course, makes way more money than me because she's a full fucking nurse at this point. But yeah. My dad, though, he can go eat a sock. My sister and I joke a lot. We're like, you know, he says a lot. He's like, you're gonna take care of me when I get old, right? And my sister's like, no, I'm gonna put you in a home. He's just like,
what kid would want to take care of their parent.
huh?
I don't know what kid would want to take care of their parent when they're old.
Like, well,
Maybe that's just me though.
both of my parents' kids, at least that are in the house right now, are trained in taking care of older people. So that's the difference. It's that
See you later, Wolflake.
oh, bye bye. The difference is just that like they're like, oh, so you know how to take care of us, so you're gonna do it, right? And we'll do it for our mom because we love our mom, but my dad's a real pain in the ass. I have not forgiven him for eating my fucking Oreos and my ice cream. Yeah, he's one of those people that like eats someone's food and then like leaves like a mouthful of it left.
Ugh, yeah.
Instead of just throwing it away and going, yeah, I ate the rest of it. He'll like lie and shit.
I feel like that's just men in general.
Well, it's him. And I hate that he does it because
My brother and my uncle would also do that.
Ugh.
So I think it's just a cis man thing.
A cis man thing. I don't know, my brother doesn't do it.
Oh, I forgot you had a brother.
Yeah, I have a half brother. It's just because he's like 20 years older than me. Because my parents are old. My parents are in their 60s. So, what am I saying again? Oh. So he was already so old by the time that I was starting to grow up that he's less like a brother to me and more like a distant uncle.
Yeah.
Because we were nowhere near like the same age gap. Like even now it's hard to get him to treat me like his sister and not like a niece or some shit. Like to be like, hey bud,
Wait.
don't fucking do that kind of shit.
You called yourself a sister?
Oh, well, that's out of habit.
Did you just misgender yourself?
Yes, yes I did. Then again, no one outside of my immediate family knows that I'm transgender, so... God, if I tried to tell that to my grandmother. Whew.
Oh yeah.
She's already the type of person to be like racist on Maine. Not like it's more like the oh those people. Not like a, oh I hate these people. It's just like, well, they do this a lot, stereotypical, and I'm like, all right, my mom, please shut up. She's old. And she's also like super fucking stubborn. She's like that kind of old white woman, so you kind of expect it that that's what's gonna happen with her. I don't like it, and I don't think it's okay, but I'm also like, yeah, I'm not gonna put myself in the position to tell her that shit. She does not need to know. What she does not know will not hurt her. Very strict sharing rules because we all love food. Well, for us, the thing is, like, if you don't want anyone else to eat your stuff, you have to put your name on it. And it should just be like, hey, if I tell you that I'm buying something, please don't fucking eat it. God, I wanted to go to, like, Walmart and get myself some fucking sweets today, and I was so upset because my mom took the car. Have you ever, like, woken up with, like... Have you... What?
I said, I'm so sorry.
Have you ever woken up and been like, wow, I'm really fucking craving sweets right now?
Yeah.
I've been on that kick for like a week, and it won't stop. I'll have to wake up early tomorrow morning to get to mall or whatever and get myself some lunch.
I'm done. I finished it.
Yay! Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of me too.
Oh, my ice cream, but I know I can't just eat that all the time. Why not? Live
Why
your
not?
best life, Digits. I've eaten ice cream for breakfast
boy.
as an adult and not felt bad about it. Kip has completed the thing. Kip has completed the thing!
It's on my Twitter if you want to look.
Woo! Alright, I'll look in just a moment. Here, I'll leave this going so it washes them while I look. What's that line at the bottom, though?
What line at the bottom? Fuck. What line at the bottom?
At the bottom of the cake, there's a cape. There's a straight line.
Oh, I don't care about that.
Alright. Looking at those pants. Kisses him. Love him. Fucking, I love it so much. I love it so much. Okay, and while I'm here, I'm gonna send you a picture of that surprise so you can see how it's going.
Yay! I'm so excited.
This is as clean as it's gonna get. Because I can't put like too much effort into shit like this or I will burn myself out. But for the main pick, the pick that's gonna represent me, I'm like, I have to make it good. I have to make it like fancy and shit. It's me.
Oh, looks so good.
I'm so happy with that face. You have no fucking clue.
The face is so good.
It's so good. I was like, damn, I really popped off with that, didn't I?
You did. Your accent came out a little bit.
It's because I'm proud. Yeah, I really popped off.
I popped off.
I really popped off. Can I stand the fuck up? Thank you. Oh shit, I forgot I can ride them. Oh my god. Why didn't I? Oh, that's a lot of blue on your ass, sir. Here, let me clean that. Right up the tailpipe.
Damn, okay.
That's where he needed it. And up the cooter. There you go. Whoop. Old and new. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, your style has changed quite a bit.
Well, it's not really my style, I guess. I guess it is, kinda. I guess. I don't know. I feel like the old one was just, like, lazy. And not too great.
I like, well, like, your rendering, first of all, is fucking immaculate. But second, I just like, I like both of them. Like, I like the cel-shaded, like, I guess you could call it sort of messy, but I don't see it's messy.
It is very messy, actually. That's like an uncleaned sketch that I just kind of scribbled underneath. And then painted over.
Bitch.
Quote unquote painted.
Bitch!
It's not that great. Please, honey. I know you love me, but it's really not that great.
You know that emoji with the teeth and the weird eyes? The cursed one?
Mm.
I'm doing that at you right now with a fucking vibe check hands. How dare you?
How dare I?
How
What are you
dare you
talking
say
about?
that it's not good? How fucking dare you?
It's not. I'm not like self-deprecating.
Maybe by
or
your
anything.
standards,
like,
but it's
not
really good to me. I think it's nice. I really like the style.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Not good.
Can I please, like, get over underneath of this fucking horse? Please, for the love of Christ. Because it gets me on, like, the side of it. There we go. Christ. Ah! It's stuck. Oh, this one's not done. Both sides are not fucking done.
I'm so itchy. I got my T-shot done and I'm so itchy.
Does it really make you itchy?
Yeah, it does.
How much does it hurt?
It doesn't. Well, it just.
It hurts
just
to
feels
some
like,
extent. There's no way it doesn't at all, you know?
It feels like it doesn't like
Are
my
you scared of needles?
bones. It's just like
Are you
it just pricks. No, I'm not.
You're not?
scared of needles. No.
How in the fuck? You're the first person I met that hasn't been. I am
I'm
deathly scared of needles.
sorry. Like I understand like getting shots is just a part of modern life now. So, I'm just fine with it.
Oh, it's not like
Uh,
I won't get a shot. Like, I'll get vaccines and I'll get my shots, but like it's like an anxiety I can't fucking shake whenever it comes. Like, once it's done, I'm like, oh, okay. But
Yeah.
during it, waiting for it, I'm like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna perish. This is the end of me. Ooh, fuck. I think I didn't get over here. Your front is filthy, man. Dirty girl.
You disgusting wench.
Ah! I just saw the dark underside of that one. Don't encourage me. Go, Hi, Kunako. It's been a while. How are you?
forgot.
My eldritch brethren.
Oh shit, it's stream time for me.
Oh.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's
I
right. It did
think-
start kind of late.
What should I do? I don't want to do art because there's no art that I want to do exactly. Well, I guess I'll just play Final Fantasy.
I guess I'll just look at my fucking hot man that I was probably gonna look at anyway.
Nut.
Nut.
Nerd.
Nut.
Oh fuck! I gotta
Nut.
try to.
I can't. Nut.
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 Nut. Nut.
Hydrate. Oh, it's been a while since someone's redeemed that. Damn.
Fuck. I guess they just don't care about you enough, Sir Hydrate. Oh.
It's like using all of their points.
Nut.
Like, I've been waiting for this. Nut.
Bummer fish.
Nut.
Bummer fish.
Nut. It's so hard to do.
My battery power. It's going
failing.
down. Help me. Help me. I got a call out post from a VTuber on Twitter.com. I have been called out for being an asshole on Twitter.com. Twitter.com.
Twitter.com. I've been called out for being an asshole on Twitter.com. Not the best voice, but it's serviceable.
Facebook. Facebook. Facebook.
Facebook.
Facebook. Facebook.
We're just watching horses. Hi.
Family member has ended.
Well, no, I know exactly what's in the box. I just haven't opened it. It's a treat.
My mommy says you can't come over to my birthday party.
I'm like, oh,
My
it's a
mommy
treat,
says
instead of saying,
we
oh, it's
can't
like a
eat
$90
rings
purse.
anymore.
Because my Mal Baby thing finally came in. Because it came in at like 8 o'clock, right? So I was like trying to sleep to get some rest for the stream, and my dad's like, hey, wake the fuck up. And then he throws it on my bed. Like right at my feet, and I'm like, excuse me. He's like, wake up. And I'm like, God damn it, don't you notice? This horse's rod is very dirty.
This horse's rod is very dirty.
There we go. You're still fucking doity.
My mom says we can't be friends anymore. My
Shame,
mom says
really.
you can't come to my birthday
Makes out
party.
with you instead. Does your mom say no,
Oh,
huh?
no.
We're not friends. We're more than that. Ugh.
This is gay people.
Gay people.
Gay people.
Bad friend.
LGBT. I mean, down with this bus.
What?
Down with this bus.
Oof, that was bad.
Down with this bus.
Oh, that's where the fucking dirt is. It's on like... There we go.
Down with this.
Down with the tits.
Down with this bus. Oh, baby. I want you. Yes.
What?
Yes. Yes. Put it in me. Harder, harder, harder.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like that. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Ah!
Yes. Yes.
Stop. Oh, no.
Going to make an oily.
That's fucking disgusting. What the fuck is a pole topper? Oh. Oh, these things. I think I've cleaned. No, I haven't. Oh, oh, oh. Center pole topper. Okay, where have I not cleaned it? Oh. You can't escape me, bitch. Oh, wait a minute, my fucking music isn't even on. Oh my god. My dumbass.
You dumb flat ass.
God damn it. Nintendo Halloween music.
Perfect.
Harder. Yes. Yes.
I can't stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yes. Yes. Oh, daddy. Oh, daddy.
Oh my. Bro, how much is this fucking pole topper? There we go. I guess it's something on the top that I have to get to. Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna swing now.
Okay, bye-bye. Love you.
Bye bye for now. I love you.
Mwah.
Goodbye to
God,
you
we're
as well,
so
Chad. I'm
gross.
giving you kisses.
We are just so fucking gross.
We're just so disgusting.
Okay, bye. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm waving at you. Bye.
And there he goes. There he goes. Okay. Yes, the horse rod has been cleaned. Is it on like this side? It is. No, get on the fucking carousel. Thank you. There we go. Oh, oh, oh. I don't want these fucking horses. I'm kidding, I'm off. In chat, he still appears. Alright, I need to get, my big fucking thing here. That somehow I can pick up. actually know this music. I'm just kind of guessing. Look at that's fucking gross. Oh, it's because I didn't get the top of the cresting. No, that's not it either. Ah! Okay, we go up B. Up B. Up B. Hup. Ah, it was the back. I don't know how much of some of this fucking grime, like, I know you're supposed to suspend your fucking disbelief, but also, how in the hell you getting this much dirt? Unless you took it from an abandoned park. Like, there's moss. Well, maybe they did take it from an abandoned park, if that's the case. Dun, dun. Although my shrew-like reflexes saved the lives of the monks, my helter-skelter fell off the toe and rolled down the entire creek. Oh, that's the kind of job that we need, or that he's trying to give us, I see. Bad news, it's covered in everything from tertiary chalk to Permian mudstone. Good news, it represents a thorough illustration of our geologic past. Okay. It's a concerning amount of dirt, yeah. Pull me back. Excuse me. That's weird. That's the first time I burped tonight. Odd. Since this seems like the easiest to finish, I'm actually gonna pop down here. And I still have not figured out how to reset that counter. So it's just how many times I've burped in all time. You should look at my Twitter profile real quick, baby. Haha, look, for no reason. Oh no, what did you do? What did you do? Oh my god! God damn it. Oh my god. Yeah, I fucking knew that one was gonna be a ghost. Reimu Endo. Sorry, it just showed up on my thing. Oh, that's why they picked her. I see. She's bilingual. She's got other shit. Yeah. She deserves it. She deserves the position. She's qualified. I'm sure she has a lot of talent, so I'm happy for her. And that's not me being sarcastic. I'm really happy for her. Because that was my favorite design out of the Nijisanji, girl VTubers. It was the little, like, ghost-like girl with the hair that kind of, like, lifts up like the Poltergeist VTuber that's indie. You know the one. I guess I should move this over a little more. Plum 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 plum. That wasn't me being angry, that was me just like being too lazy to like put down the phone in a calm way. You know, in a few days it'll actually be my 3-month streaming anniversary, can you imagine? Started in July, so that's August, September, October. I think around like the 11th is when I started. Maybe it was even sooner than that, I'm not sure. I need to check. Whee! Neato. Yes, indeedy. You know, there's so much music in this playlist, like, that I haven't heard of before. It's really making me think, how much Nintendo Halloween shit have I actually missed? Blech, get in there. 90% Luigi's Mansion. I haven't played any of the Luigi's Mansions. Like, I know about, I know that they exist and shit, and I know how the first one goes and all that kind of stuff, but, like, you know, I never, like, actually played it myself. Would love to, though. But that requires me being able to actually play them on stream, and I still need a capture card for that. So I still don't know where to properly get that kind of shit. Elgato, that's one thing. I mean the chords. Like, you have to have all these different types of chords and shit, and I don't know which ones match up with it, you know? Like, for a 3DS, what kind of cord do I get? Do I have to get an HDMI connected to a fucking charger? Like, it's that kind of stuff that really, like, makes it hard. Woo! Okay. Well, no, I don't have it yet. I'm just saying, like, in general. Yeah, because apparently there's no such thing, like, you can't really stream or whatever from a DSi or whatever, and I want to be able to play Bowser's Inside Story for you guys, because I love that game. But I don't know how to do it, and everyone's like, oh, well, a 3DS capture card doesn't really exist. Meanwhile, there's Elgato, so of course it fucking exists. But I don't know what cable to use. I don't know where to get it from. And that really stopped me up, because how can I save for it if I don't know what I'm getting? You need a custom mod. And all the big names are dead. Doesn't Elgato do it? Couldn't you just technically use Elgato? Because I have an emulator for the game, but I can't play it on the computer. It, like, the stylus and the mic and shit. Has no output. Fuck. So now why do I do that? I can't do it with a DSi, can I? How the fuck do you capture shit from a DS? People are talking as if it's super easy, so... I'm really upset, because that means I can never do it. I'm just fucked. goes that train. He bought a lot because he knew they'd... Oh, fuck. So he kind of scalped the market in that sense. Like, yeah, he's using them and shit. But now they're all fucking gone. Still, it shouldn't be that expensive regardless. I mean, unless they open something up for the Switch or whatever, like a port, then there's no fucking way that I can do it. Absolutely not. Because I know that the people were saying that you can do it with the Switch, right? At least I fucking hope. Because it's technically a console. Please. I would love you so fucking much if you help me research this. No, I found. Because I really want to make this work. Because I have the physical copies, so if I can do it, then I can play so much for you guys. Yeah, so it's a console thing rather than a handheld. In docked mode. Well, you know, that's not really an issue. Alright, so what am I missing? Crusting frames, crustings, crusting trim, steps. Horse rock tops. Aha! Is it under? Yeah. Yeah, it was under. That one. That one. Not that. That one. There we go. Nice. Okay. There we go. Missing frame, pole, and pole base. Not that pole, not that pole, not that pole, not that one, not that one. This one? No. This one? Yes. Ah, that's where it all was. Okay. Cresting frame. Oh, oh. Okay. Dip, dip, bim, bim, bip, 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 bip.
Okay. Hi, Hoy. How are you doing? We're finishing up, something. That's the thing. I go already. Yeah. Maybe I should move over here. Up, up, da 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 da. What? Come on, the Krusty Kreme should be over here somewhere. It's gotta be. Oh. It is this one. Okay. Bing, 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 bing. Whee! Da-dum, boom. doing? Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, I'm tired. There it is. Pull base. Woo. Make that one, make that one. Or that one. Maybe that. Ah! This one! Here it is. Let me get through. Yay! There's a looks incredible. The others are gonna lose it when they see it practically smell all that hot cash in my hands already. Thank you so much. I'm not on my stomach, fucker. Wow! Yeah, this took me forever. This one was a hard one. It's pretty though. Clean the temple. Next door to my farm lives an order of the nicest, kindest, non-verbal monks whose temple is currently caked in manure, top to bottom. It's a heck of a story. I'll fill you in as you go. But basically, they're not here right now, and I thought it'd be only right and neighborly of me to get it hosed down in their absence, so let me give them a boost for when they return. Be sure to continue. Okay, lady. Oh, cool. I get to like walk up. Oh, this is kind of cool. Is there anything behind me? Just my car? Powerwash services. Here we go. That's a big bitch. Yeah, it's really caked. God damn. So a lot of it's wood, multi-purpose. Wood, wood, wood. Wiggity, wiggity, wood. What? Yes. So where to start? Well, you know about all the mayor's pipeline diverting all that water from the river to a secret mining rig, right? These monks have relied on that river to water their crops for the immemorial, and now those crops are failing. Visa, thank you for following. Hello, hello. I think I'm in the middle of an uwu. I don't know if it's been 3 minutes yet, though. Hello.
Oh, yeah, okay. Whew. I gotta up the prices on that. Alright. Getting there. Alright. This place is gonna fucking shine by the time I'm done with it. I like it at least that even though it's I think this is Banjo-Kazooie music. Sounds like it. I like it because it's not rust, it's just dirt. That it comes off real nice and easy and satisfying. Starts to disassemble through use. Yeah. Oh, it's wood chips in there. Oh. I was like, wow, that's a lot of rust. Just wetting all their wood chips so they can't make a fire. Okay, there. Just a little over here, I would say. Oh, this part is the pedestal. No, let me platform, goddammit. There we go. Oh, it's coming off so easy. Oh, I love it. It's honestly a gorgeous temple. Like, I'm kind of upset that it got so fucking dirty in the first place, you know? There we go. But with my power washing capabilities, I shall fix that. I do want to know how exactly it got caked in Minor, though. Like, were the cows just, like, shitting their brains out or something all over this place? Like, did they go on the roof? Did someone fling it, like, at the mayor? Excuse me. This makes it so the stream's not as big. There we buttress. At least most of this is like relatively easy to climb. In desperate act, the head monks sent them all out on a pilgrimage of faith. Oh, okay, because their crops were failing. Here's something I've been meaning to do. And I kind of got the idea from Tis. Takahashi Tis. But, what is it? Something I know he's been doing recently. He's been, like, playing, like, creepypastas and shit as he draws. They're, like, conspiracy videos and, like, horror stuff. And I've been wanting to, like, listen to, I've been wanting to listen to those, like, creepypastas or no-sleep posts where it's, like, the rules ones. Where they, it's like, oh, when you drive on this road, if this happens, don't do this. If this happens, don't do this. And all that kind of shit. I'm kind of curious, you know? Lo-fi for ghosts only. Sorry. Alright. Let me look that up. Okay. I thought there's one that's just called Creepypasta Rules. Alright, I'm gonna keep the spooky song on for a bit while I go pee or go to the bathroom or whatever, and I will be right back and we will start that, and then that way we can listen to it together. Okay. I'm gonna pause this and we're gonna click this one by Mr. Creeps, I think.
Can I check your ticket, please? I handed the ticket that
let me check
I've been
the-
twirling around in my hands for the past hour
Okay.
to the flight attendant. She nodded at it approvingly before producing a sheet of paper from the
Can you
file
hear
that
it
she
just
was
fine?
holding,
With me
and
over it, of
placing
course.
inside my folded ticket. Have a nice flight, she commented enthusiastically before handing my ticket
take a drink
back
first.
to me. I grabbed my ticket and stared at the folded sheet of paper inside my ticket curiously before finding my seat.
Nice.
Once I had settled down on my seat, I removed the folded sheet of paper from my ticket and placed the ticket in my bag. Upon unfolding the sheet of paper, I realized it was a handwritten note. The handwriting seemed rushed. I've transcribed the note from memory here. Rules for surviving this flight. 1. Do not speak of this sheet to any passenger. You are the only human on this flight. 2. Check the time on your phone after reading the sheet. All rules will apply based on the time of your phone. 3. During the first hour of your flight, do not talk to anyone. People may try to talk to you, but ignore them completely. 4. During the second hour of the flight, you may start talking again, but if anyone mentions the window, do not look outside the window under any circumstances. 5. If you hear a child crying in the cabin, immediately run to the bathroom. 6. If the screen of your entertainment console suddenly goes black, immediately look away and do not stare at it. 7. During the third hour of the flight, the captain will make an announcement. Follow the instructions. 8. During the fourth hour of the flight,
I'm gonna adjust the sound.
do not
so
sit
it's...
in your seat. 9. If you make it past the fourth hour, you will need to spend the rest of the flight evading the chaser. You will know who the chaser is when you see them. 10. The captain will make an announcement of the plane landing. As soon as you hear this announcement, push your way to the exit door and open it. 11. You will find that the outside is simply a black void. Jump into it without hesitation. I reread the rules again while chuckling. Did they give one of these to every passenger, or was I somehow randomly chosen for this prank? I checked the time on my phone just to humor the list. 7:13 a.m. So, this would be the first hour of the flight. Suddenly, a young man walked over to my seat and sat right beside me. I gave him a casual side
reminds
glance
of, like,
and saw that he
sometimes
was
it just go
carrying
quiet so
what
we can
looked like
listen to
be
it.
a laptop bag. Great, I thought. He'll work on whatever he's doing and leave me alone for the flight. But the man didn't even bother to exchange a single word with me as he settled down in his seat and put on his seatbelt. He stared straight ahead and completely avoided me. I let him be and started to fiddle with my flight console. Some people just like to be left alone, I guess. Soon enough, the captain made an announcement of the plane starting and the steady hum of the plane engine started to vibrate the entire cabin. The plane started to accelerate until the G-force pushed me into my seat. Moments later, I felt the plane rising into the air. I am typically not scared of flights, but getting on a flight always makes me a bit nervous. This time though, my stomach was in knots and beads of sweat were running down my forehead. My instincts told me that I was stepping into danger, grave danger. I dismissed my thoughts and that awful gut feeling, chalking it down to feeling a little creeped out by the note. The young man on my left suddenly tapped on my shoulder. I jolted up like I had just been electrocuted. Even through my jacket, his hand felt cold. Cold and heavy, like a dead person's hand.
Yeah.
I turned around and faced the young man. His face seemed wrong. You know how those realistic human robots can creep people out because of how close to humans they are. Yet subconsciously, we can tell that they aren't human. This man was giving me that same unsettling feeling, and his facial features were just artificial in a way that I couldn't place. Maybe it was his eyes, a little too big, the pupils abnormally dilated. Or maybe it was his nose, not exactly in the center of his face. Or perhaps it was his mouth, lips way too thin and long. And don't get me wrong, he didn't look obnoxiously fake. In fact, it was those very subtle blemishes in his facial features that made him look like something trying to look like a human. And then he spoke. His voice was normal. Upon hearing it, the man seemed to look normal too, and I thought I was just freaking out for no reason. "Hey, do you wear headphones?" he asked. That was a weird question to ask. Do you want headphones? I was about to open my mouth to speak when he spoke again. How would you feel if I cut your hand off right now? What was disturbing wasn't the nature of the question itself, but the fact that he spoke in such a calm manner. It was as if he was asking me how my day was. Suddenly, my mind went to the list of rules that I had subconsciously been squeezing in my hand. The first rule said to not talk to anyone on the flight, no matter how much they try to talk to you. I decided to ignore the man. He seemed really weird anyways, and if I was being honest, the list of rules wasn't the reason that I chose to ignore him. He stopped pestering me and returned to work on his laptop. I looked over at his laptop slowly and gasped at what I saw on his screen. He had a photo of me on his screen. And that's it, nothing else. Just a full screen photo of me. And before I could process that properly, I looked over at his keyboard and noticed that it wasn't a standard keyboard. In fact, it really wouldn't even count as a keyboard. It was made up of oddly shaped keys, all marked with strange letters that I doubt existed. The man continued to stare intently at the photo of me on his screen. It was then that I realized that the list of rules wasn't a joke. Suddenly, a flight attendant popped out of nowhere and asked me, "Sir, is this man bothering you?" "Yes, he is," I replied before my voice caught up in my throat. In under a second, everyone in the cabin snapped their heads around until they were staring directly at me. Their faces, they all looked wrong, inhuman. Slowly, their long, thin lips curled into wide smiles and red tears started to roll down their faces. What had moments before been a fairly typical flight had now turned into a nightmare. I sat there, cornered in my seat as the entire cabin of people at their faces turned to me, eyes locked with me. Red tears were rolling down their uncanny faces, and their lips were curled into impossibly wide smiles. The flight attendant that had tricked me into talking to her also did the same thing, now completely silent. I waited for them to jump me, to attack me, but they did absolutely nothing. Seconds dragged into minutes, yet the people just stared. They didn't make an effort to move. It looked like they were locked in place, just staring at me. As the initial shock wore off and my ravaged heartbeat started to slow down, I started to think about what to do. I had obviously broken the first rule, but apart from being a little unnerved, it hadn't caused much harm to me. The plane's PA system turned on again and the captain made an announcement. "Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming across some unexpected turbulence. Please remain in your seats to stay safe." His voice was monotone and void of emotion. Every single syllable made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Everyone in the cabin seemed to dismiss my presence at that moment and returned to their usual things. The cabin returned to normal, and I nearly convinced myself that I just had a very realistic nightmare. It wasn't until I saw the young man's laptop next to me that I realized it wasn't over yet. His laptop was still the same with a keyboard from another world, and most importantly, he still had a picture of me on his screen. He continued to stare at it, and tap the keys on his keyboard as if he was typing something. I reread the list of rules and noticed the 7th rule. During the 3rd hour of the flight, the captain will make an announcement. Follow the instructions. The rule sheet stated that the captain would make an announcement during the 3rd hour of the flight. Yet as I checked my phone, I realized I was still in the 1st hour of the flight. Either breaking the rule had changed the complete course of things, or the rule sheet simply didn't account for all scenarios. I desperately hoped that the latter was true, because otherwise, the precious rule sheet that was supposed to get me out of here would now be worthless. A sudden jolt across the whole cabin interrupted my thoughts. The captain had lied about the turbulence. In fleeting moments, the entire plane was shaking. There was nothing against looking through the window in the rules, apart from during the 2nd hour or so. I pulled up the blind on the tiny circular plane window and gasped when I saw the outside. All I saw was a thick black void that seemed to undulate like rich black velvet. I saw the lights from the plane start to get warped and twisted as the beams traveled through the void. Don't get me wrong, the void wasn't just completely black. No, it was full of void, rays, twisting and warping. The best I can describe the void's movement is like an ocean of thick black waves. My mind went to every sci-fi movie and book that I had ever read, and entertained the thought that I was inside a wormhole, or perhaps a black hole. How the regular Boeing plane managed to not get crushed in this physics-bending space was an impossible question to answer.
The void was made of void,
I
yeah.
slowly turned my head away from the window. It took a lot of willpower to look away, as if something from those inky black depths had hypnotized me. Everyone in the cabin seemed completely oblivious to what was happening, and continued to go on about their regular business. I checked the time on my phone and my heart skipped a beat. An entire hour had passed in just those few moments I spent looking out into the void. I quickly looked over at the rule sheet to see what I would have to do for the second hour of the flight. During the second hour of the flight, you may start talking again, but if anyone mentions the window, do not look outside the window in any circumstances. While the rule did state that it was okay to talk, I really didn't want to talk to anyone in this cabin. I also reread the rule about going to the washroom when I heard a child crying, and also not looking at my in-flight entertainment console if the screen turns black. It all seemed pretty standard stuff, and I thought that I had seen the worst already. This gave me newfound motivation to follow all the rules to the dot and get out of here quickly. I started to head out to the washroom to relieve myself, knowing that I would be busy during the third and fourth hours of the flight. As I was walking to the washroom, a woman frantically caught up with me. She seemed absolutely frightened. "Hey, are you also stuck here?" she asked while looking me up and down. "Did you also get the set of rules?" I said. "Yeah, but I lost the sheet. Can I just read yours?" she pleaded. I considered it for a moment and decided to give
God,
her
I
my
just had
sheet
deja vu.
because
Whew.
she seemed really desperate. It felt good to have someone else be in the same situation as me, because now I could rely on someone else to help me out. I gave her the sheet and she thanked me profusely. After giving it a quick read, much to my relief, she handed it back to me. "I'm Sarah, by the way," she said. "Well, nice to meet you, I'm Ethan," I replied. "We need to get out of here, and I think our best bet is following these rules." "That's right, and I'm glad I'm not the only person here on this flight," she said. "About the others, well, they don't seem human to me." She seemed to have calmed down a bit too quickly. It felt like she was putting up a facade, but I chalked it up to being on edge from the situation that we were in. "So, I guess we got another half an hour until the third hour starts," she said. We suddenly started to hear the shrill cries of a child in the cabin. She immediately took my hand and rushed us both over to the washroom. There, we spent the next few minutes listening to those shrill cries get more and more inhuman as the minutes passed. And just before they finally died down, they were high-pitched shrieks that still ring in my ears to this day. My left ear started to literally bleed as the frequency of the sound ruptured my eardrum. Sarah seemed unfazed by the sound. I guess it affects different people differently. Soon enough, it was the third hour of the flight, and the captain made another announcement in his emotionless, monotone voice. "Ladies and gentlemen, please proceed to the front of the plane." Absolutely no one in the cabin moved. I looked at Sarah, and she nodded at me, giving me the affirmative to go to the front. We both started to walk to the front of the plane, pacing through rows and rows of people comfortably lounging in their seats. No one seemed to have even heard the announcement. At the front of the plane, I saw the door to the pilot's cockpit was open. I walked inside with Sarah right behind me, and I noticed two things. One, there was no pilot, and two, outside the plane, I could see a vast red land, with fire and lava crisscrossing the dried earth like rivers, and purple trees dotting the barren landscape. I stared into the outside, shocked at the otherworldly landscape. The place wasn't uninhabited though. Large concrete buildings were concentrated in several areas. Where we had arrived, I had no idea. Sarah started to laugh behind me. It was at that moment that all the pieces of the puzzle had clicked together in my head. I realized why Sarah felt so off. She knew what time it was on my phone, even though she had never checked it. There was no way she could have known which hour of the flight it was unless she had her own phone, which she never did. She wasn't affected by that shrill, high-pitched scream in the cabin. She was acting way too calm, like she knew exactly what was happening. As I felt Sarah's nails digging at both my shoulders, I realized that the list of rules had failed me when I had broke the first one. I had changed the course of things, and those rules no longer had a time frame. Sarah continued to dig her nails into my shoulders and pierce my skin through my jacket. She leaned in close and whispered, "I am the Chaser." I was stuck in a bit of a pickle. The Chaser had tricked me and cornered me in the cockpit, and the plane seemed to have traveled to another dimension. I probably would have had a panic attack and mental breakdown at that moment, but I had something more important to deal with. The nails of Sarah, or the Chaser I guess, continued to dig into my shoulder, and they stabbed through my jacket into my skin. She seemed possessed inhuman strength in the way she easily punctured my jacket, and then my skin with just a blunt nail.
Got a pin out of his
But
3DS
as I
support for
slowly turned my
capturing
head
the bottom
around,
screen, and yikes.
I realized Sarah was truly just a facade.
Oh.
She had transformed into something else entirely. Her skin was gone completely white like a
Once
sheet
you're
of
gone, get
paper,
a freakish twister.
and her fingers now ended in jagged, sharp, yellow fingernails. Her face had warped into a misfigured eyes, nose, and mouth that barely resembled the Sarah that I'd gotten to know. I quickly pushed back against her and kind of fell on her to push myself and her out of the cockpit. You don't truly know what you're capable of until you get that adrenaline surge and a survival situation. When your primal instincts take over, you don't think about anything that you do. And then, as soon as I was free from her grasp, I ran. I won't bore you with the details of the next 30 minutes of me running back and forth around the plane to avoid the Chaser. At first, I thought the other passengers would react, maybe catch me or something, but they were all gone. The entire plane was empty, and there was only me and the Chaser. I was starting to get tired and lose energy, when the captain's voice broadcasted over the PA system once more. "The plane is landing at our destination. Please, buckle your seatbelts." The Chaser took one final look at me before disappearing to the back of the plane. It puzzled me how the captain was now back in the cockpit and landing the plane. Curiosity overtook me, and I thought that I had seen the worst already, so I decided to walk to the front of the plane and check the cockpit again. The door to the cockpit was open, and I could see a single man with his back to me operating the controls. He seemed normal enough, but after what I had experienced on this plane, I knew the last person I wanted to bother would be the captain. I swear that I saw him turn his head around and look at me as I turned around and walked back. The plane landed eventlessly, and those emergency rubber slides also opened up to serve as exits in a place where there were no airports. Before I left the plane, I salvaged as much food and water as I could. Some of you may say that I should have stayed in the plane. While that would have been a good move, how long would I last there? Days, at the most weeks. It's best that I get myself used to this new dimension that I found myself in, rather than sit there and then look for food when I was starving. And of course, I still can't forget about the Chaser, who I believe is still on the plane. The landscape was an endless red desert. The only thing that stood out in the landscape were the occasional purple trees and the towns of concrete buildings. The heat was unbearable. I looked up at the sky and saw 3 large suns in different positions, all radiating their heat and light onto this planet. The ground was incredibly dry, and I doubt the place ever received any rain. In fact, there were several ravines that were filled with lava and molten rock. I knew that I couldn't even survive a day in this heat, and I'd already completely soaked my clothes in sweat. I started to walk over to the closest concrete city that I could find. It only took me about 10 minutes to walk there, but those 10 minutes were absolute agony, as I struggled to keep on walking in the heat. The beams from the 3 suns burnt the skin on the back of my neck and ears as I walked for those 10 minutes. Just when I was about to pass out, I found the shade of a concrete building and I threw myself into it. The relief was instant, and while the temperature didn't suddenly drop, it was 100 times better than being out in the open. I finished an entire bottle of water in one sip and continued to lie down on the floor, nearly passing out from exhaustion and the heat. I didn't notice the suited man when he had walked in front of me. "Welcome to hell, lost soul." He said that phrase like he had said it a million times and he was bored of it. He wore a black suit even in the sweltering heat and didn't seem to be a tiny bit uncomfortable. "Hell?" I asked, clearly confused at this man's statement. It may have been the heat getting to my head though, because that would have not been confusing to me and would actually explain the previous events. "Oh yes, son, this is hell. You're an unexpected visitor though. Usually we keep track of who's coming in." He sighed in a tone similar to one a teacher would use when their student asked a dumb question. "Oh, don't worry though. It's not a rare occurrence to have people that come and go. I'm not sure if you'll be able to leave though, so I'll set you up with what you are going to have to do for eternity," he said, as if he was just doing his regular job. "What do I have to do?" I asked, unable to fathom what the horrible task must be. "No, it's simple. We'll take you under the ground where the beings that run your world will consume your fear, and eventually your soul is sustenance," he said in a cold tone. I immediately stood up and began to run, but no matter how far I ran, the man seemed to be right beside me. He wasn't running, no, he was just standing still, waiting for me to give up. I tried my best to keep going, but the sweltering heat didn't make it any better. I was far away from the concrete city now, but the man suddenly snapped his fingers, and I was back under the shade of the building. "You can't escape," he smiled. And that's how I learned about the first rule of hell. There is no escape. But I got out, didn't I? How else would I be telling you this now? All I can say is that I'm extremely lucky. The man snapped his fingers once more and we were down in what looked to be a vast underground cellar. I saw people being attacked in each cell by unimaginable creatures. I got a headache looking at those creatures and could not look at them for a long time. The geometry of their bodies didn't make any sense. They had completely different parts. They weren't even composed of earthly colors. These were new colors that I had no words to describe. To this day, I will never get these screams from that cellar out of my head. As the man walked me through this horrible place, I only had one word in mind. Why? "Your souls are very powerful. We feed on your fear and suffering. If we didn't do this, the earth and your reality would not exist. As a return for letting you live a life on the paradise known as Earth, you give us your souls. Don't worry though, this doesn't happen for eternity. Eventually, your souls are fully consumed in no more than empty husks. You will find plenty of wasted souls roaming around up above," the man explained. "So there's no heaven," I pleaded. "What about God?" "There is no heaven. God has long left your kind behind. He considers your kind a failure and lets us deal with you as we please."
That's such like a common trope.
I stood there in the underground chamber
God's abandoned
as
you
a
because
suited man
he
told me
deems
about
you
the
a mistake,
afterlife and how
sort
it works.
of storytelling stuff.
You know what's worse than that though? Monday mornings. Okay, maybe not. I was quite literally dead.
I was liking this one at first, and
this
now I'm
man
like,
was going to chuck me in a cell for all of eternity. Except that didn't really happen.
it's a little too
Don't
fantastical
worry.
for me, you know?
You really think we waste souls here first? No, at first we make them work. Make them keep the barrier between your reality and ours strong, the suited man said, immediately putting away the worst of my worries. And then, almost immediately, a weird being made entirely of light appeared next to us. The being did not have a definite shape, and looking at it, it was like looking at the sun. It seemed to stand there and communicate
there's
with
two
the
letters
suited
this
man
time.
before leaving.
I guess they
With
realized
the
that
snap
moving
of
them
his
was a
fingers,
terrible
the
fucking
suited
idea.
man teleported us away from that chamber, and we were now instead inside what I could only guess were one of the concrete buildings.
Can I
There
blow
has
up
been a
this thing,
mistake,
please?
Ethan, the man said in
Damn it.
sorrow.
A lot of detail, and they
What
could have
happened?
stopped after
I
they started
asked.
staring
And
at
then
him.
suddenly,
Well,
the
I mean,
world started
it
to
should have
warp around
probably
me,
just
as
left
if
him off
reality
at
was
like
still a body of water
the
that was now
regular
rippling
world or
from
some
any
shit, and then that
direction.
would have been a cool story.
Colors
Like that would have
started to
been
swirl around like watercolor,
interesting.
And before I knew it,
But this is
I
like,
found myself on the plane again with the sheet of rules clutched in my hand, and the same young man next to me. I had been given a second chance, and this time, things would be a little
that one's
different.
an hour. We're not gonna sit through that shit.
I immediately looked away from the young man and ignored his cries for attention. I ignored the flight attendant too, and suddenly the whole cabin was yelling at me. Their shouts nearly caught my attention and made me
No. Is this read by a T? That's a fucking Netflix thing.
r/no sleep.
Yeah, it is text.
Posted by you/Lemurbeam. I got a 1,000 euros car. For the rules I was not prepared. I got my driver's license right.
No, we're not gonna do that one. I mean, some of them are good, but I can tell from how many views I got that probably wasn't. Let me see. Filters. View count. Okay. This is about 15 minutes. It's not bad. This should work. It's probably TTS, but you know what? Fuck it.
r/no sleep episode
Yeah.
16.
But this one
Posted by
has
user,
like
Reeking
1.5 million
123.
views, so
Don't accept jobs in the morgue. The ad itself made me shiver, but at the same time it was appealing. It said, earn $120 per night as a night guard in the morgue. Apply now. I'd been jobless for a while and had to afford to pay my rent and late bills, and with this kind of pay I'd be able to live like a king. So I applied hesitantly, half hoping I wouldn't get a response from the company. Not even 2 hours later, I got an email from the employer.
well, that was your first
Thank
mistake,
you for
dude.
applying to our position of night guard in morgue.
Anyone
We
that
are
desperate
happy to
is
inform you
definitely
that
going to
your
be
skills are
watching.
suitable for our company and would hereby like to offer you a 1-year contract. If you agree to the terms below, please leave your signature via the online signature website listed below and be at redacted by 10 p.m. tonight. You will receive a payment of $600 weekly on the provided bank account. Tonight? I thought it was a little too soon, but I didn't complain. I didn't know what to expect or who I'd meet there, so I put on my shirt and jeans and went to the address a little early. I was there at 9:40 p.m. and a middle-aged man who seemed to be a morgue worker greeted me. Hi. Ethan, right? I'm George. He shook my hand with a smile. I know you were probably sent here on short notice, but the security company whose services we employ was in need of a new guard for tonight's shift right away. So I'm outsourced from a security company to your morgue? I asked. That's right. You worked for an outsourcing security company, and from what I hear, they pay pretty well. So who knows, you may get an even better position in the future. He winked. Right. So about the duties here. I started. Oh, that.
He'd have his two
No
TVs
big deal.
dashes.
Just make sure no one breaks in. He leaned in and said, or out. We stared at each other for a moment, but then he chuckled and said, I'm just kidding. Well, listen, my shift is over, so I'll be going now. Just sit tight in the office and relax until 6 a.m. That's when the first shift arrives here. And with that he left. I sat down by the desk in the office. I thought this probably isn't going to be so bad. There was a paper in front of me, and after observing it, I realized it was a list or rules
You'd think that
addressed to
6
me.
a.m. is a
It
very
said,
like cliche
the
time, but
new
to be
guard.
quite honest, a lot of
Welcome
jobs
to
like
the
this,
company.
where
Below is a
someone has
list
to
of
be there
rules
around the
for your
clock,
job. 1.
it
The first thing you should
really
do
does
is
start
conduct
at
a full
6.
sweep of the area to make sure nothing is out of the ordinary, including the crypt. Important note, if any of the body chambers are pulled out in the crypt, push them back in. They should remain pushed in at all times. 2. After the sweep you may remain in the office until the end of the shift. There were more rules listed below, but I decided to first check the place out. It was fairly small, with one big room that had medical supplies in it, the crypt and a bathroom. I first decided to get the worst out of the way, the crypt. I left the office and opened the sturdy crypt door, immediately getting hit by a wave of cold air. Inside were 2 body carts in the middle of the room and cold chambers on the walls. All of them were closed, so I hastily left the room. On my way back from the bathroom, I saw a man in a lab coat standing in the medical room. He was fiddling with some of the tools next to a body bag. Jesus, you scared the hell out of me, I said. He shot me a bemused glance and working. I thought everyone left already. "My name's Ethan, I'm the new guard." I said that again. He simply ignored me. I waved my hand in dismissal and returned to the office. I was about to continue reading the rules, when there was a sudden creaking sound reverberating throughout the building. It was faint, but it sounded like the pipes. It intermittently lasted for a few seconds and paused just as long. I ignored it and slacked some more, checking out my phone. But the longer the creaking lasted though, the more I got unnerved, because they sounded less like pipes and more like moans. I got out to ask the employee about that, but he had already gone home by then. I couldn't tell where exactly the sound was coming from, but it sounded like the crypt, so I went there. As soon as I opened the door, the whole building went silent. I held my breath as I observed the room and then realized that one of the body drawers was pulled out slightly. I pushed it back in and bolted back to the office. The creaking was completely gone by then. I continued reading. 3. You may sleep in the office, but it is inadvisable. Just then, the loudest sound just about made me jump out of my skin. "Please, someone let me out." Dash the
God,
voice
Wolfie,
cried
that
from
scared the
somewhere and
shit
the
out
pipe
of me.
carried
We're
his
watching
voice.
horror stuff, or
I
listening
stood
to
up,
horror
heart
stuff.
racing. "Let me out, I can't breathe." Dash the voice repeated, now followed with a series of loud bangs. I opened the office door and the screams were apparently coming from the crypt. I shuddered, but decided to open the door. "I'm not dead, this is a mistake. Someone." Dash the voice got louder as soon as I opened the sturdy door. "Where are you?" Dash I frantically looked around, while the man continued screaming bloody murder and banging. I approached the source of the sound and leaned in to listen and make sure that this was the right chamber.
Tell me.
"I'm not dead. Let me out. PLE." The voice and the banging suddenly stopped when I abruptly pulled out the drawer and was met with a cold, dead body of a middle-aged man. I stood there, staring at the corpse, my mind unable to comprehend what just happened. I heard it very clearly, felt the banging as I held the drawer handle, and then it was as if someone just shut it off abruptly. Was my mind playing tricks on me? I pushed the drawer back in and bolted out of there, shutting the office door and thinking that applying here may have been a bad idea. I felt like I was on needles, but convinced myself after a while that it was all in
Charlie
my
Brown's
head.
Ghost.
I
Aw,
continued
that's
reading
cute.
the rules. 4. You may play music to kill the silence, so long as it doesn't drown out any outside noises. 5. If you hear incoherent sounds coming from the crypt, you can ignore them. 6. If those sounds turn into panic screams, do the following. 1. If the screams are female, ignore them until they stop. Do not enter the crypt during this time under any circumstances. 2. If the screams are male, locate the source of the screams and pull out the body drawer. This should stop the screaming. The page ended there. I placed the paper down and leaned back in the chair. It was 1 a.m. I started feeling sleepy. After a while, my eyes started to shut. Just as I started drifting into dream, I felt a firm grip from behind on my shoulder. I instantly shot up, knocking the chair down in the process. No one was there. I no longer felt sleepy. Everything was quiet for a while and I went to the bathroom once more. When I returned, it was 4 a.m. and I was pretty much ready to end the shift here. I started thinking how it wasn't so bad for $120, until I flipped the paper with the rules and realized there was something else written on the back. 7. All the staff will be out of the building by 10 p.m., so if you see a man in a lab coat during your shift, do not under any circumstances try to talk to him. I reread the rule 5 times over, but the text remained the same. There was a gentle knock on the office door. I looked up and through the glass I saw the man in the lab coat grinning at me. It's 4:30 now and he keeps knocking. Our next story is posted by user ReekNindaken123. I'm a truck
that was a
driver
good
and my
short
company
story.
has some strange rules. I've been working as a truck driver for well over 10 years now, but I only recently changed companies. I actually would have stayed in my own company, but when my friend Jake told me how much his company paid, I practically begged him to get me a job there. He referred me there and I got the job after a quick interview. The interview itself was very strange, because I was asked some
why you
questions I
always
didn't
read the rules
expect,
first.
like, have you ever abandoned your vehicle on the road, are you afraid of the dark, are you religious, etc. I answered everything truthfully and got hired right on the spot, so I didn't think twice about the oddity of the questions. My job was to transport dried meat products to a small town, and for some reason, the company said it could only be done at night and that I had to be there by morning. I'm used to night shifts and the handsome pay more than compensated for it, so I didn't complain. When the time came for my first tour, Jake explained which route I should take to get to my destination, stating the GPS was off a little. Before I entered the truck, he sent a message to my phone and told me to listen to it when I get on the road, since it explains some basic rules I should follow. I thanked him and started driving. When I got on the old road which Jake told me to take, I opened the message he sent me and realized it was an audio recording from him. Here's what it said. Hey Paul, welcome to the company. Now I know you're an experienced truck driver, but our company has a list of rules you need to strictly follow while you're driving. I'm gonna lay them out for you here and you make sure to follow them as best you can. I'll also send you a text message so you can read the rules in case you aren't sure. Now first of all, make sure to turn on your high beams and keep them on at all times, since it's really dark on the road. You may notice that even with the lights on it's really dark, but don't let that concern you. Within the first 10 miles you may see a dead-end sign ahead. Ignore it and just keep driving. If your lights start flickering by this point, speed up and drive as fast as you can until the flickering stops. You may see an old man hitchhiking by the road at this point. Make sure to stop your vehicle and ask him where he's going. If he says to the nearest town, let him in. If he says anything else, floor it and don't look back. If you do let him in, he will remain quiet for about an hour while you're driving and then he'll ask you to stop and let him out, despite being in the middle of nowhere. Do what he says, but once he's out, don't look at him while he's walking into the night. You should be well within the 20th mile by now. If you start to hear any banging or growling noises coming from the back of the truck, ignore them. They'll go away faster if you maintain a consistent driving speed, so try to do that. Before you reach the 30th mile, make sure to turn off your radio if it was on until now. Turning it down will not work, so make sure to turn it off. This is really important. By the 35th mile, your radio will suddenly turn on and will be at highest volume. Now it's really important that you pay attention here. If a song plays, any song, simply turn it down, or off. But if you only hear static, stop your truck right away, turn off the engine, lie down on the seat and close your eyes. Try to be as still as possible and keep your eyes closed. You'll hear tapping on the windshield and roof, but you'll be okay as long as you keep your eyes closed. Even if you hear the truck door opening, don't move. Whatever opens them will close them in a few seconds after sniffing around. Once the noises around the truck stop, you can open your eyes slowly and look at your driver's window. If the window is fogged up, wait one more minute. Otherwise you can sit back up and continue driving. By the 50th mile, you'll start to see something running along your truck on all fours on the side of the road. No matter how fast you go, it will always keep up with your truck, but it's advised you maintain a speed of at least 60 miles per hour. Try to keep your eyes on the road because there's a curve, after which the creature will be gone. If the creature is still following you after the curve, speed up and hope you lose it by the next curve. You only have 3 curves, so make them count. By the 70th mile, your truck will sputter to a halt. Remain as calm as you can and try restarting the engine as fast as you can. Don't look in the rearview mirror at the figures running towards your truck, just start the engine and as soon as you do, floor it. You'll notice by mile 80 that it's getting really hot inside the truck. Don't bother with the air condition, because it won't work. Try taking off your jacket, but don't open the window under any circumstances. Try not to fall asleep either, because even though the road goes straight, you may find yourself swerving off a cliff if you close your eyes. If you need to use the bathroom, only do it between the 85th and 90th mile and make sure to keep your high beams on while you're doing it. Do not step off the road or out of the light. When you're done taking a leak, you may see someone move behind your truck just as you turn around. Don't try following them, because you'll just endlessly move around the truck just in time for them to always get behind the next corner and they want you to stay outside as long as possible. If you hear a high-pitched scream in the distance while you're taking a leak, run back to the truck and floor it. I don't care if you piss your pants, but do not waste a second running back. Regardless of the mileage, at around 3 a.m. your phone will start ringing. Don't answer it, no matter who it is, even me. The caller will try to get you to answer 3 times before sending you a message. Don't open the message, either. Again, whoever it's from, ignore it. By the 100th mile you may see a pair of beams from other vehicles in the distance moving toward you. If you do, turn off your lights immediately and wait for the other truck to pass by. Once it does, you may turn your lights back on. Repeat for any other oncoming vehicles. Do not honk or do anything to attract their attention. Keep looking in the rearview mirror and if you see the beams of the truck turning around and coming back towards you, drive away as fast as you can and pray you are faster. Now, when you reach the 120th mile, you'll see a sign for a 20 miles per hour speed limit. Slow down to 20 miles per hour and do not go over that speed, since the sound can attract unwanted attention. You can speed up once you see another sign that tells you the speed limit stops at that point. At around mile 130, you may see a woman waving and asking for your help. Do not slow down and try not to even look at her. Once she's behind you, look in the rearview mirror. If she's still on the road, you're safe. If she's gone, just look straight and don't even think about looking at the passenger's seat, no matter what you see with your peripheral vision. Once you reach 140th mile, you're safe. From here, it's a straight shot to your destination. Don't try to turn your truck around at any point while you're on the road, because you'll end up driving until you're out of gas, and if that happens, you're as good as dead. Don't use your GPS until you reach the town either, because it will take you to an old dirt road which will have you driving in a loop. Once you reach the client's place, the employees will take care of the rest. Let me know if you have any questions. I listened to the message and laughed, thinking Jake simply wants to prank me. That was before my lights started flickering.
Oh, fucking hell. That scared the shit out of me when that came out. Yeah, I remember listening to this one a few months ago and I really liked it. Let's see. Let's see. Trying to look for ones that aren't like hours long, you know? Okay. This one's not too long, so let's try this. Okey-doke.
Before I get into the situation that I'm in now, I guess you probably need some backstory so you understand what's happening. So let me take you back to when I turned 15,
No, I
when
wanna
this
go
all
up.
started.
Please let me go up.
Big day
Oh shit,
tomorrow, huh,
I
buddy?
didn't know this was
Said my dad while taking a sip of his hot morning coffee.
Yeah, that would probably
Well,
fucking
not
help,
really.
wouldn't it?
I'm just turning 15, not 18, Dad. I said with a chuckle.
Alright, you know what?
Well, you are right. But don't forget about it, said Dad, this time giving me a cold glare. This was unusual of him since he is usually a very warm person. Right, I said, my smile now fading. Now you probably think, what does it mean? Well, this has been going on for more generations than my dad could count. When a male in this family turns 15, they are given a list of rules that they need to follow until they turn 20. Why at 15 and only till 20? I don't know, but it is definitely weird. Also, I don't know what happens if you break one of the rules, since nobody from my bloodline did before. But soon enough, I'll find out since, well, today, I broke one of the rules, after 3 years of following them. I broke one, and after I broke it, strange stuff began to happen. This event is already 1 week old, but lately, it's getting worse. So I'm writing this as something to be remembered by, in case anything happens to me. Well, kiddo, you should be getting ready for school since the bus is almost here. Dad was now so concentrated on looking at me, like he wanted to remember my every detail, that he had accidentally spilled his coffee when he tried to grab the cup. Is everything alright? I said. You sound a little worried. Yeah, it's fine. I'll clean this up before your mom gets home. You know how she is, he said, already reaching for the mop. And also, I need to talk to you about it when you get home. Alright, well, I'll be on my way, I said as I headed for the door. That day, we had a science project to do. An erupting volcano that I aced, of course, with the help of my dad. But the rest of the day was pretty boring and tiring. I didn't get any homework, luckily, since the teachers felt good today. When I got home at 2 p.m., I went straight to the kitchen. I was hungry, and I cooked myself some fries with eggs, of course. I overcooked the fries a little bit, but I was still getting the gist of cooking. After I ate, I went to my room
yes,
and watched a
fries
few
and
movies
eggs.
and played some games on my console. And then evening rolled around. I heard my dad knocking on the door. "You got any spare time, buddy?" I asked my dad in his usual warm voice, but there was little worry in his tone. "Yeah, Dad, you can come in," I said, knowing what he wanted to talk about. "You should clean this place a little," he suggested as he took a quick look around. "Yeah, you're not wrong," I said with a chuckle. "Let me guess. It, said my dad, now looking more serious than I ever saw him. In general, he was a pretty laid-back dude. "Well, tell me then. You know all about the history of the list, correct?" "I think so," I said doubtfully. "Even about the one who cursed us with it and why, right?" said my dad, with an eyebrow raised. I don't know the reason or the person who was behind all of this." "Right," said my dad, beginning the great history. "Back in the 1500s or something like that, I can't remember the exact date, but it was around that time. A member of the family that we were related to was a well-known thief. He was known to steal everything he could get his hands on. Jewelry, food, clothes, and he would get away with it since he was just 15. Very agile and with good stamina. Well, this thief messed up big time one day. Come on, Dad, this sounds like
What,
a
did you
bedtime
steal from
story.
like a witch or some shit?
I spoke with a wide smile, almost a laughter. "Let me finish, kiddo," said my dad, now becoming a little angry that I wasn't taking this seriously. "Oh, right, sorry, Dad." As I was saying, he messed up. He found out that in the woods nearby lived an old lady who just wanted quiet time to herself, away from all the noise in the town. She had an excessive amount of jewelry in her house for some reason. He knew this and decided to rob her in the nighttime following the next day. The next day came and day turned to night, and he striked. In a hurry, he took everything that he could carry. Gold and iron rings with small diamonds on top, gold bracelets and necklaces and everything, and ran away undetected. Or so he thought. The next day came around and he went through town proudly, telling his buddies what he had done on the previous night. His buddies froze as they heard everything. "Dude, you messed up." "Yeah, man, you're dead." "What are you guys talking about? It's just an old lady. What can she possibly do? Walk after me?" said the thief, laughing hysterically. "That lady, you imbecile, is a witch, and what you stole was a private collection, some of them crafted by herself." "That old lady, a witch? You guys gotta be kidding me. That grandma can barely walk. There's no way she's a witch."
Ah,
"Sleep
yes,
with
the
one eye open,
1500s,
friend.
dude.
Sleep with one eye open," said one of his buddies,
You know,
starting to walk away
I
with the others.
find it funny how the TTS is better than this. Like that the TTS is like, oh yeah, these are actually good stories, and then you get to this one by Mr. Creeps, and he always picks the shittiest ones. Let's try this one. I'm just going around and seeing what ones are actually interesting, you know?
I had a nasty breakup with my girlfriend
see.
a while back. And although we lived
Yeah,
in
'cause
an apartment
The
together,
1500s,
she stood
dude.
as
I
the
can't
owner of
fucking
it.
believe it.
So I had no choice but to move out.
Yeah, man.
Thankfully, a good friend of mine allowed me to stay at her place until I could find my own crib.
Christ almighty.
Since I only wanted a rental apartment, my choices were pretty limited. There is a low supply and high demand for rental apartments in my city. After going through several that were too expensive for me, I found a vacant one in the outskirts of the city. It was a large 3-room apartment on the 4th floor, with a view over the woods, and the rent was very low. I immediately applied, and within a couple of hours, I got a reply that I could have it.
Did not listen to 1 second of English class.
I
Yeah.
deeply regret moving here, and now you may wonder why I
Like,
haven't
the
left.
idea was cool,
It's because
and then
the
they kind of fucked it
contract
up.
and the rules forbid me from leaving. The contract is for a year, and honestly, I don't expect to survive until it expires. The same day as I moved in, I found a letter addressed to me from the company that rented it. I opened the letter and I took out the paper which said, "Rules for living in the apartment complex. Rule number 1. Regardless if you are home or away, your door must always be locked. You do not want to have unwanted guests in your apartment. Should you forget to lock the door after leaving, do not enter your apartment when you return. Call our support for instructions on how to proceed." Rule number 2. It is not forbidden, but we do not recommend leaving the apartment between 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. Some entities like to roam the building during the night, and they do not take lightly to intruders. This only implies if you want to leave your apartment, and not if you return to it. Rule number 3. If you leave the apartment between that time, always carry a flashlight, a bag of salt, and holy water. The flashlight will repel the shadowy figures that you may see. Should you hear footsteps behind you,
There's something
and no
like
one is there,
when it's just, oh,
use
it's
the
just a
salt to
demon,
create a
then it's
salt-
no fun. You know? Like, when it's like, oh, it's just a demon, oh, it's just hell, it's like, well, that's not fucking creative in the slightest. Can I just not get them from Mr. Creeps? That'd be great. Let's see. They're like, he's the only one that does these. Well, maybe not. Let's see if this one goes good. Because I'm just gonna do this until I finish up this house, you know? Let's see if this one works. The SCPs have good
Warning,
stories.
may contain disturbing content.
It's
Viewer
impressive because you're
discretion
kind of trapped
advised.
in there for like 5 hours a week.
R
I'm
slash
the
no
entity.
sleep.
Oh, I like
Episode
that. That's
1.
nice, yeah.
Story by Christopher Maxim.
It's more cosmic.
If you like this
It's-
story,
the
check
the
out
more
their
vague
subreddit
it
and
is, I guess
support
the more
them.
fun it
Links in the
is.
description. I was offered $5,000 to sit in a room for a week. It wasn't worth it.
It wasn't worth it.
I was referred by a temp agency. I had no idea who I would be working for, or what the job would entail. I only knew that the pay was good. A week-long excursion at $725 a night. More than enough to pay off a couple of credit card bills and a good chunk of next month's rent. For that price, I would have done almost anything. I only wish I knew at the time what I was getting myself into. When I arrived at the address, I was surprised. It was a large facility at the end of a dirt road in the woods, 2 towns over. The large sign outside reads Synthetic Court. It was a plain, white, 3-story building, void of identifying markings. Its appearance gave me no clues to its purpose. Its location was even more baffling. Going off of
Also,
the
is
name
it too
alone,
quiet?
I had to
'Cause I
assume
can
it
turn
was
it
some
up if
sort
it
of
is.
biotech company. I was probably needed to clean up radioactive waste, or something to that end. For what they were
Yeah.
paying me, I would happily risk my health. Upon entering the building and meeting with the receptionist, I was directed to room 371 on the 2nd floor, where I would wait for Al, my new boss. It was your standard office setting, albeit more quaint than usual.
Okay.
Red carpet, white walls, and no windows. Only 6 desks in 3 rows of 2, each with their own computer. At the back of the room was a large wall covered by a one-way mirror, an opening with steps on either side of it. Inside was a single chair, desk, and landline phone. Probably a place for supervisors to oversee productivity. Other than that, the room harbored no points of interest, unless you fancied the waste bin and fern in the corner. An older gentleman opened the door to the room and came over to shake my hand,
Ecstatic at the same time.
introducing himself
I don't
as
know if
Al.
I would be ecstatic. I think I would
He
just be
seemed to
purely
in a
horrified.
rush, wasting no time in describing the task at hand. I was to stay in that very room from 8 p.m. until 6 a.m. the following day, every night for a week. He left me his cell number and a laminated list of rules to be followed. He told me he could not overstate enough the importance of following each and every one, exactly as they were outlined.
Must be
Once he
horrified.
was sure I understood the gravity of the situation, he left me to my first shift in peace, closing the door behind him. That was it. Really? Just stay in the room for 10 hours a night? I had no clue as to why I was being paid over $5,000 to room sit, but I learned some time ago to never look a gift horse in the mouth. I simply sat down in the overseer's room with a smile on my face and went over the list of rules. There were 10 in total, all of which left me more than a little confused. 1. Once 8 o'clock rolls around, lock the door, and do not leave the room for any reason until 6 o'clock. Plan your bathroom usage and meal periods accordingly. No food or drink items within the room. 2. Do not use Hank's computer. It's the closest to the exit. No one is ever to touch it, under any circumstances. Not even Hank. 3.
Not even
If the
Hank.
phone rings, answer it, but do not talk. No matter what the voice on the other end says, you are not to respond. Hang up after 2 minutes have passed. 4. Do not let the janitor in. We don't have one. 5. If anyone else comes to the door,
Not
let
even
them
Hank,
in,
yeah.
but ignore them. Do not react, whatsoever. When they leave, shut the door and lock it behind them. 6. If the waste bin changes locations, place it back in the corner as soon as you notice. 7. If I stop by, only let me in if I know the password. 8. At 9:30 precisely,
say what the
set
password
each
is?
of the computer's home screens to different URLs, except Hank's. Do not react to the images. Act normal. 9. If you see Harvey, feed him one of the treats from Lisa's desk, the one opposite Hank's. 10. If there's an emergency, call my cell, but not after 10:05 p.m. Below the last rule was a final sentiment, scribbled over the laminate in pen. No one has made it past night 3. Good luck. I was perplexed, wondering for a moment if Al was
Good
a
luck.
lunatic and if that was the reason no one else had lasted. Perhaps his quirks were too much for the previous candidates and they backed out, fearing for their safety at the hands of his fragile mind. I would not be swayed so easily. Even if Al was crazy, I would happily take his money for what was shaping up to be a very simple job. At least, that's what I thought. Day 1 was utterly boring. Nothing remarkable happened, definitely not anything to the extent of what Al's list would have me expect. At 9:30, I even changed the URLs on the computers, if for no other reason than to feel somewhat useful. The next night, however, was a little different. Day 2 started as it normally did. I settled in for another long night, making sure to eat and empty my bladder before locking myself in. At 9:25, just as I was about to ready myself to change the home screens again, I saw it. The waste bin was right there at the top of the steps to the overseer's room. I certainly hadn't placed it there. I felt a small spike in my adrenaline before calming down with a smile. The waste bin, the list. It was all a joke at my expense. Al would be in the next room, waiting anxiously to see the look on my face. I raced out to the office floor. There was no one there. I walked over to the exit and shook the knob. It was still locked. Confused and a tinge scared, I swiftly picked up the waste bin and walked it back over to the corner of the room. I checked the time, 9:30. I started changing the URLs on all of the computers, hoping desperately that I had imagined what just occurred. After skipping Hank's desk, I typed in the last website on PC number 6. I was about to pull away, when some strange imagery manifested on the screen. It was surveillance footage of the room. The very room I was in. I saw me looking at the computer. I turned and looked up, but there was no camera. Upon looking back at the screen, I saw something terrifying. I watched as a copy of me stepped out from the overseer's room. It walked up behind me, grabbed a hard drive from one of the desks, and wound up to strike me in the back of the head.
Oh.
I quickly turned to shield myself. There was no one there.
See, that's some
turned
good
back and
shit.
the
That's
screen changed,
scary.
displaying the website I had entered as normal. I raced back
Oh,
to the
Mike
overseer's
fell on
room
me.
and sat down, more than a bit frazzled. I contemplated walking out, but I steeled myself to continue. I was fine, after all. Maybe Al wasn't a lunatic, but he didn't seem the type to wish me any harm.
Yeah,
Not
that
that
was
I knew him
cool.
all that well. Still, I hadn't sustained any damage. I was questioning my sanity, yes, but no bodily injuries had befallen me. Whatever was at play here seemed harmless so far.
That's your first fucking
There was a
mistake,
loud
bro.
banging. Having just had the most horrifying experience of my life, I nearly jumped out of my skin. A voice then penetrated the door. "It's the janitor. Just here to clean up. Can you open the door?" I recalled rule number 4 and denied him entry. "You did good not letting him in. You followed the rule. Now you're fine. So long as you follow the rules, you'll be safe. It's as simple as that. You can see this through." I jumped again. I really need to get in there and clean up. "Open the door." I took a deep breath and peeled back my anxiety, successfully ignoring the janitor until he left. This was an accomplishment for me, and it actually felt pretty good. A challenge that I was able to best. Though I remained on the edge of my seat, the next few hours were uneventful. I even dozed off for a moment at one point. It wasn't until 2:30 a.m. that my next challenge would come. A multicolored cat jumped up on the desk in front of me, complete with beautiful splotches of black and orange. I was startled, but it seemed to be friendly, brushing up against my arm, the name on its collar, Harvey. I knew what I had to do.
Feed
I
the
rummaged through
kitty.
Lisa's desk,
Feed the
found a jar of
kitty.
treats,
The
and fed
little
Harvey one,
boy.
to which he purred in delight. To my astonishment, he then charged at the door, phasing right through it. My mouth was agape in awe. Once my initial bewilderment dissipated, it was replaced with satisfaction over another small victory. As strange as it may sound, I was beginning to like the job.
Kitty.
It was the landline. Remembering the rules, I removed it from the receiver and held it to my ear, making sure to keep an eye on the time. "Hey, it's Al. I'm going to be stopping by pretty soon to do a little work. How's the job treating you so far?" I remained silent. "Hello? You know you can talk if it's me, right?" I picked up the set of rules and looked them over again. There was nothing about Al calling. I didn't respond. This is no way to treat your employer. If you don't say anything, I'll have no choice but to fire you. Do you really want that? I stood my ground. Only 20 seconds to go. Fine. I'll see you soon to relieve you of your duty. I guess you couldn't even make it past night 2. The 2-minute mark came and I hung up on him. I felt safe as another hour went by. Reflecting on the trials I had faced thus far, I was bewildered, but determined. I wasn't going to let the room cloud my judgment. I was in control. "It's Lisa. Can I come in?" Though hesitant, I had to abide by Rule 5. I opened the door and a woman entered. "You must be the new guy. What do you think of the place?" I went back to my desk in the overseer's room and sat down, trying my best to act casual.
Yeah.
Lisa walked up to the glass, knowing I could see through it. "Not very talkative, are you?" Her eyes unnaturally darted around in all directions and her skin drooped a bit, almost as if it was falling off the bone.
Ugh.
I didn't answer. She didn't speak again. Instead, she stared at the glass for a long time. Long enough to leave me feeling truly unsettled. She then waltzed in and stopped at my side, raising her arm. I hoped she wouldn't notice that my breathing had become sporadic and labored. She then violently swung down on the desk, creating a thunderous clap. I almost winced, but held my composure. After another awkward
Damn,
5
he's
minutes or
strong,
so,
man.
she left. I ran to the door and locked it behind her. A few moments later, There was yet
No,
another knock.
no, no.
This time, it was a
Shit.
boy, claiming to be searching for his father. I let him in and sat back down. He tried many times to ask for my help, but I was careful to ignore him, just as I had with Lisa. At one point, however, I made the mistake of meeting his gaze. For an instant, in between blinks, his eyes became pitch black, void of all color. Startled, I nearly jolted back, but was able to restrain myself. Like Lisa before him, the boy eventually left, and I quickly locked the door behind him. Another rule followed. Other than the waste bin moving around a few more times, nothing else happened that night. Before I knew it, it was time to go home. I heavily considered calling it quits, and may have even had a nightmare or two upon sleeping that day, but I found myself excited to continue, wondering what obstacles the room would throw at me next.
I mean,
Curiosity shouldn't
yeah, it
have
would
been
be the
enough to
same.
bring me back, but all rational trains of thought escaped me. The room had this pull that beckoned me to it. I was hopelessly compelled to return, powerless to its call. Any excuse would have sufficed. As such, I resumed my post the following night. Upon starting my shift, I was confident. I had dealt with quite a few absurdities up to this point, and waited patiently for my next opportunity. A couple of hours went by with no trouble. No cat, no images on the computers, no phone calls, and no waste bin antics. Boredom was beginning to set in when a loud knocking broke the silence. There was no voice. I yelled out from the overseer's room. "Who is it?" I asked. There was a brief pause. "It's me, Al." I picked up the list and reread rule number 7. "What's the password?" I heard him chuckle to himself. I never wrote down a password. He was right. There was no password written with the rule. It must have been him. I cautiously made my way to the door and opened it. Al was there to greet me with a smile. I sighed in relief. Let me guess. Scared of the things that go bump in the night? He laughed at my clear, nervous disposition. "You have no idea." He shut the door and set up some things at one of the computers. "Say, why didn't you write down a password?" I asked. He smiled again. "It's a ploy. Anyone posing as me might try to come up with one, which would identify them as not being me. Understand?" "I see. Good thinking." He returned to his work at the computer. I didn't want to bother him, but I just
Why
had
not
to
write
know.
that down?
What is this place, anyway? Why do these things happen here? He turned to face me. "It's best if you don't ask questions, especially ones that are far above your pay grade." I wasn't happy with my answer, but I knew it was all I would get out of him. I let him work in peace and sat back down in the overseer's room, watching through the one-way glass. That's when I realized something. The computer Al was using. It was Hank's. I double-checked the
Oh,
list to make
shit.
sure. Yes, that was definitely Hank's desk, and no one was to touch his computer. Didn't that apply to Al as well? I turned over the list on the off chance I might find some more information. That's when my heart sank. In large, bold print on the back of the laminated sheet was text that read, "Password, diner." Fuck. I grabbed my phone, reached
Fuck.
for the scrap of paper with Al's number on it, and dialed it as fast as I could. There were a few tones, but he finally picked up. "Hello? Everything all right over there?" "Al, thank goodness. I made a mistake. I thought he was you." I let him in, and now he's on Hank's computer. He let out a long sigh of disappointment. I watched as Al's copy turned from his computer and then stood up. "Listen very carefully. Do not act suspicious in any way. You should be fine if he doesn't suspect anything. If you try to leave or call anyone else, it'll all be over. Understand?" "Yes. I understand." Al's copy began walking to the overseer's room. My heart was beating faster than it ever had before. "I'll be there soon. Just don't panic." He hung up. I kept the phone to my ear as Al's copy approached, so as to pretend I was talking to my wife. "I told you, Han, 6 o'clock. That's when I clock out. You don't have to wait up for me. You worry too much. Please, get some rest." Al's copy
This
was
guy's
in the room
smart.
with me now, staring. I held the phone to my chest and looked back at him. Everything okay? I asked. He continued to stare for a few long seconds. Can you help me with something on the computer? I wondered if he could see my chest pounding. Sure. I just need to finish this phone call. I'll be there as soon as I can. He stared for another moment and then walked back to Hank's desk. Though panicked, I kept up appearances by continuing to pretend on the phone. I even acted out an argument to lengthen the call. While doing this, I watched with bated breath as the knob gently turned and the door swung open. It was Al. I had never been so relieved in my life. He turned to the glass and put a finger to his mouth, gesturing for me to keep quiet. The clone was not yet privy to his arrival. Al snuck up behind his clone and grabbed him by the throat. The imposter struggled, but eventually succumbed to his vicious grip. He fell to the floor, a lifeless hull, before disintegrating into the carpet. I ran to Al and thanked him.
What the fuck?
I also apologized, profusely. No need to be sorry. This isn't the first thing to make it into the room, and I'm sure it won't the last either. I'm just glad you're okay. He smiled. Speaking of which, mind shutting the door? Wouldn't want another one of me stopping by. Of course. I walked over to the door and then realized something. I had left it unlocked after the copy came in. That's how Al was able to enter. Remembering the final rule, I slowly pulled out my phone and opened the call log. My most recent call connected at 10:18 p.m., 13 minutes past the deadline. I turned around to see Al standing right behind me. Al, what's the password? He grinned. What password? I ran out of there as fast as I could.
Oh shit.
The room still has a strange hold over me, but I will never go back. At least, I hope I won't.
Oh, that was good. That one was good. Oh, fuck. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm processing that. Holy shit. That's right, he called him after the I guess that calls, like, a different copy of sorts? God. I'm glad- it's cool though that he still survived, though. I like that. I like that one a lot. That was really good. Let's see...
Good thinking.
Oh yeah, there's a little mic. Gip would love it. In the bottom right of the screen, there's just a little Minecraft Steve dancing. How can you fail at a job that literally only has 10 things you actually do? Well, pretty fucking easy, man. Alright, let's see. Still not quite done this yet, so let's see. Let's try this one. It's a night guard at a subway station.
Warning, disturbing content.
I'm
Viewer
having a great
discretion is
time, honestly.
advised.
I like listening to these. It's
R
kind of like
slash
just
no
like
sleep.
hanging out with friends, you know?
Posted by user, not necessarily. You can check more of their work at r/not necessarily on Reddit. Links in the description. I'm a night guard at a local subway station. I found a second user manual outlining some disturbing rules. All the stories are posted with the author's permission. I was desperate for a job. I was in my final years of college and I had lots of student loans built up. As soon as I saw the night guard job advert in the local newspaper, I knew I was fit for the job. I usually stay up late each night anyway, so it won't make a difference to my schedule. I realized I could also just chill on my phone the whole shift and get paid for it. We had a small local subway station for our town. It only had one platform and few trains ever went there. The subway station itself was very old, only used by the local town people. Recently the old night guard for the subway station had retired and they needed someone to take over the position.
I wonder
As
why
soon
he
as I called, they
retired.
immediately hired me. Looks like this wasn't a popular job. Let me give you a little description of the subway station. I've only ever been to the station a few times. So basically, you walk down the stairs to get to the subway. Yes, it's underground. Then you will see the long tracks extending forever
That's
on either side of you and
what a
also a short
subway
platform for boarding the
is.
train.
It's
On the platform to your
underground,
right
that's why
would be
they
a
call
ticket
it
and also a
subway,
security guard booth.
subterranean.
Nowadays you can just tap your Metro card, so the booth was used as a security guard booth. Since it was an old subway station, the lighting also wasn't very good. It was very poorly lit and had a very creepy vibe to it. There were shadows everywhere and the light was so dim it took your eyes a while to adjust and be able to see your surroundings. So anyway, here
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
pretty
now
sure
making
all
my
subways
way
are
to my little
underground.
security booth. The day guard shook hands with me and as he left wished me good luck. Who the hell wishes you good luck as they leave you to your shift? I ignored it and got myself
What do you
settled.
mean who
I
says
read
good
through
luck?
the boring instruction manual that outlined basic
always say
evacuation
good luck.
procedures and what to do in unlikely scenarios like a bomb threat. My shift was from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Who is
I
this
was
man?
about to just go on my
He's an
phone
idiot.
and scroll through Reddit when my eye caught on a single piece of paper. It was titled "Must Read Important Rules." The title was overwhelming and written in big red block letters. I picked up the sheet and read it. This is what
And
it
read
said.
it.
If you see a man in a black tuxedo and
Yeah,
bright red
especially if
leather
you're
bag
new.
walk in asking for a ticket, say "I don't work here" and immediately turn around. He will not be there when you turn back around. If you see a black figure in camera number 4, quickly look away and never look at the camera again. If you start hearing whistling, get them out immediately. Around 12 a.m. you may see a woman with an umbrella come into the subway station. She will be walking facing away from you. Do not under any circumstances try to look at the woman's face. If you see yourself staring at you from any of the cameras, immediately cover up that camera. You may hear yourself speaking telling you to come out. Stay put in your booth and
Yeah.
do not come out.
But I'll give it a
If the door
chance.
to your booth starts shaking and starts to open, push the door closed as hard as you can. Do not let the door open. An extension to Rule 4, if you see yourself staring at you from the booth window, immediately look away and hold the door shut as hard as you can. If you notice that the clock on the wall has stopped working, immediately hide under the desk and do not come out until you start hearing the ticking of the clock again. At 3:03 a.m. a weird-looking train will come. You will hear it from its distinct horn that doesn't sound like any other train. Carefully look out and see if anyone steps out of
bird
the
shit?
train. If you see
think
even
it
a
is.
single person depart that train, immediately grab the handgun in your drawer and shoot them, no matter who the person is. If the train departs and you still haven't shot the person, it is too late. Your clock, phone or any device that shows the time will try to deceive you. They will show the time incorrectly and instead show your shift and time. They are trying to get you to come out. If you feel like the time isn't right, to stay put in your booth and wait until morning and you see people walking into the subway station. Apart from the weird train that will come, you should only see one other normal train arrive at the station at exactly 11 p.m. That will be the last train until 5 a.m. If you see any other train arrive at the station, know you are not tripping, hide in your booth and wait it out until morning. If you break any of the above underlined rules, we are no longer responsible for your safety. We will nonetheless come to collect you in the morning if anything goes wrong. The safest place at the station if you break the rules is on the
collect you.
tracks. The subway management team. The rules sounded totally fake. Suddenly a man in a black tuxedo came inside the station. He knocked on the glass. My heartbeat flew like a plane as I saw the man in the black tuxedo ask me for a ticket. My body was suddenly frozen on the spot. I was unable to speak. My voice got trapped in my throat. I barely managed to choke out, "No, I don't work here." The man suddenly seemed confused. His face slowly got even more distorted. His left eye got larger and larger, his nose bent at awkward angles and his mouth twisted impossibly long. I grimaced at the sight and nearly threw up my dinner on the floor. The man turned away and literally crawled out of the station before his body got so messed up he'd be unable to move. Well, I just experienced the first rule. I'll update throughout the night. I'm definitely not coming back after this shift. I was very traumatized after seeing a man turn into some messed up organism right in front of my eyes. I just sat in my booth rereading the rules again and again. It was so dark in here that I had to use the small lamp on the table next to me. They really need to fix the lights here. Yeah, I also realized I had already broken the first rule. Hopefully, other than traumatizing me, it didn't do much damage. This is going to be a great shift. The first thing I tried was to walk out, but I could see movements in my peripheral vision. They got closer as I moved towards the exit. The shadows in the station elongated towards me and I got a horrible gut feeling. I'm telling you, I won't even make it a few steps outside the station if I exit before the end of my shift. I ran back to my booth and just sat there. It felt like the shadows themselves were watching me. Suddenly I saw movement in one of the cameras. There it was, a dark figure. No, I can't even call it a figure. It was a literal monster. It was worse than your worst nightmare. It had 4 arms, or were they tentacles? They each ended in a razor-sharp point. Were those eyes all over its body? It had red beads-like things over its whole body. They reminded me of small bright red jewels on a pitch-black fabric. It had things coming out of its mouth. That's all I can call them, things. They weren't like tentacles, they were twisted and curled like worms, as if it was vomiting its whole brain out. It had legs like the fins of a fish. Thin and
God, the
floppy.
descriptions on this
How
are
was
great.
it even standing straight? Suddenly it dawned on me. I quickly tore my eyes off the camera feed. I covered the camera feed with my jacket. The whole image of the creature had been fully etched into my brain and I was shaking uncontrollably. I swear I hadn't looked for too long. Chills ran up my spine as I heard a high-pitched whistle. It sounded exciting and hungry. More shrill whistles echoed around the dark subway station. My whole body was frozen on the spot and I swear the creature could hear my panicked heartbeat. The whistles got louder and louder as if they were coming closer. A black sticky liquid oozed out from underneath the door of my booth. I backed up and the second time this night nearly lost my dinner on the floor. My stomach must be very strong. The liquid bubbled and seeped in very slowly. It didn't have a color. It was the color of nothingness. I was mesmerized by its color. It was the color you see in between your dreams at night. It was the color a blind man would see. I suddenly saw the same creature I saw in the camera feed now literally touching the glass of my booth. I let out a sharp yelp as the creature suddenly moved towards the door and the doorknob started rattling. Then I heard another sound, a sound that made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Just when I thought I couldn't experience any more fear than what I was currently experiencing. All my muscles locked up. I was literally frozen in fear. The sound was indescribable. It was a mixture of moans and laughter, crying and shouting. It was a sound nothing can recreate. The sound blared like a horn and my brain suddenly processed what was happening. The phantom train was coming. The creature that was at the door of my booth looked scared too. It spasmed all over like a fish out of water. Suddenly it turned around and ran or slithered. I don't even know what word to use for its movement. Looks like I just survived to break another rule.
Oh.
The phantom train came in.
I
Have
didn't
you
know
guys
that.
watched Thomas the Tank Engine? Yeah, that's exactly how the train looked like. It had a human face embedded into its front. Other than that, the train was fairly normal and it came to a stop on the platform. I couldn't erase the image
Get
of the
your
face
gun.
of the train looking at me as it stopped by. It had an unnatural grin on its face. Its size way too big and cartoony. It took a lot of effort to snap out of it and pick the handgun out of the drawer
There you
under my
go, good
desk.
boy.
It was already loaded. I did not want to break this rule. Even the creature that came after me was scared of this train. I honestly do not want to face whatever comes out of the train. Something deep in my gut told me that if this time I failed to follow the rule, I won't make it out of this subway. Guess who came out? It was my little sister. She's
Oh,
recently turned
fuck.
15. She walked out looking dazed as she had just woken up. She looked around and saw the train station. Her eyes lit up and soon as she saw me, I pointed the gun at her and her face crossed over with fear and concern. She told me to put the gun down. She asked me why I was doing this. Suddenly the train blared its hideous horn and its doors started to shut. My sister looked back equally disgusted at the sound. I pushed the trigger. It all happened in slow motion. The handgun made a loud sound that echoed all across the subway station. The bullet pierced the back of my sister's head and made blood splatter everywhere. My sister dropped like a stone and blood
man.
gushed out of her wound like a waterfall. It pooled all around her lifeless body. The train
Oh.
left, its horn mocking me. I quickly ran back to my booth and broke down. I cried for what seemed like hours and screamed at the subway station. She seemed so real. Was it actually her body laying there? Did I just take the life of my sister? No, I couldn't have. No, 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 no. I am trying to calm down by typing this up. It's still only 3:20 am and I have around 2 hours to go before my shift ends. I don't think I'll make it. This isn't a subway station.
This
it's a
story's
portal to
amateur,
hell.
but it's definitely got its good points.
As soon as I finished typing up the post, it dawned on me that the clock had stopped ticking. I scrambled over to my desk and got under it. Just as I slipped my head under the desk, I caught a view of the platform. My sister's body got up like nothing had happened and stared blankly ahead. Shadows from the station twisted and curled into weird sorts of silhouettes. I wasn't gonna break another rule, so I tore my eyes off the side and hid under the desk. I checked the time on my watch. 4:30 a.m. I only had 30 minutes left before my shift ended. I nearly jumped in pure ecstasy. Finally, this nightmare is over. Finally, I could go home and check on my sister. The clock started its rhythmic ticking again and I pulled myself out from under the desk. I checked my watch again. 5 a.m. Wait, hold up. How did 30 minutes pass away so fast? Just then I remembered the rule. All my timekeeping devices may show the time difference to trick me. That meant I had to wait in my booth and not come out till it's morning and I see people coming into the station. I scanned the camera feed for anything new, making sure to not look at camera 4, which was conveniently set away from all the other cameras. Then the worst possible thing happened. I saw myself staring at me from camera 2. I had a painful grin on my face. My eyes were so wide open, I swear they could have popped out of my sockets at any moment. Before I broke another rule, I quickly tore away my eyes from the disturbing sight and came face to face with my
Ritual
twin staring at me
superfoods,
from
huh.
outside the booth. I jumped
Okay.
to the door and pushed for dear life. Luckily the door opened inwards, so it was so much easier for me to hold the door. I only had to push. My twin battered itself onto the door repeatedly. Big bulky thuds shook my whole body. My twin's shoulders started to get bloody, but he continued unfazed. I could feel myself get pushed further and further back every time he rammed into the door. I was not going to be able to hold the door for any longer. I quickly picked up my handgun from the desk and turned the safety off. As soon as my twin moved back and got ready to ram in through the door, I aimed my gun at the door. My mind took over for me at that moment. Adrenaline pushed through my body and my heart rate was high as ever. My demented twin pushed through the door and fell on the floor. I shot 3 rounds straight into his head and neck. I jumped past his body and sprinted to the tracks. Demented me got up again and ran towards me at lightning speed. I jumped off the platform onto the tracks, and the last thing I remembered was hearing my demented twin's ragged breaths right behind me and the crushing impact of my body on the metal tracks. I woke up with a dull pain throbbing through my forehead. I tried to get up and felt even more pain in my knees and my left wrist. How long have I been passed out for? I had lost all track of time. I crawled across the tracks to the far wall of the subway station and slumped against it. My foggy mind cleared and all the memories of this hellish place came rushing back. I looked around the dark as ever at the subway station for any more threats. My demented twin has thankfully disappeared. I had the subway station all to myself again. I was bruised all over and I had definitely broken something in both my knees. I had a big deep gash in my forehead. My left wrist was definitely broken and it was severely swollen. I could not move it without feeling intense pain. The adrenaline rush had long worn off and I felt defeated and extremely tired. If I was going to die here, I wanted to die in peace at least. I took my phone out of my pocket. The screen was cracked into a million pieces and it would not turn on. My watch was still working surprisingly, although its glass was also cracked. 4:05 a.m. I had no idea if this was the actual time or not. Either way, I was pretty much unable to get onto the high platform again and walk out of the subway station. I couldn't call for help. I just realized, why the hell did I not call the police as soon as I broke the first rule so they could get me out of here? I had made several poor choices along the way and now here I am, ready to die on the tracks. Suddenly a woman with a deep black umbrella walked into the station. She was facing away from me and looked confused. "Hey, can you call more people? I'm stuck in here, please, I need help," I desperately spoke out. Shit. I realized too late as the woman turned around. There we go, I just broke another rule. She turned around and gasped as she saw me. She came closer. I guess that's the final rule I'd ever break, I thought, to let the creature do whatever it wanted. Surprisingly, the woman asked me if I was okay and told me to stay put and wait until she got the ambulance here. Then she picked up her phone and started calling. I was only able to mumble thanks before I passed out again. I guess I got very lucky. I had pretty much broken every single rule on that list and still survived. I
Well,
returned home
that's-
and thankfully my sister was still alive. I told my family I fell down the stairs of the subway station to explain my injuries, which they are definitely not buying. But then again, I don't want to tell them about the rules or they'll think the head trauma has made me crazy. Today I received a text on my phone. Congratulations, you have been promoted to work as a night guard on our only night train. We have also sent a sum of $100,000 to your bank account as your pay
Jesus.
for your first shift. We hope to see you at Redacted for your next shift in 2 weeks' time. Update: I have decided to work on the night train. I will post my experiences as a new series.
Huh. Ah, fucking loud. I think we could probably listen to like one more before. So this guy's, it was alright. But it wasn't like, you know, the best. I think I've seen this one too. But I think this is a good one.
r/no sleep. Posted by you/gamertrain01.
Homes it.
My neighbors asked me to homes it. They have some peculiar rules. Part 1. My neighbors were Sarah and Eva. Sarah was 23 and Eva was 21. Sarah was the type who'd just sit in a corner, melt into the shadows and hiss at you if you tried to talk to her. Just like me, Eva on the other hand was quite the opposite. She was the life of the party, the type who'd go out of their way to befriend a stranger. They'd just moved in last year, occupying the house of an old lady who'd just passed away. Even though their house is on the same street as mine, I'd never actually been. The aforementioned old lady was grumpy loner, didn't like anyone near her house, especially children, but that all changed when Sarah and Eva moved in. They'd no scratch that. Eva would host a party each week. I only went a few times, but she'd insist on me coming over every week, and each week I'd have to make a new excuse to stay at home. I much prefer Sarah over Eva. She doesn't talk too much or make too much noise. She hates those parties almost as much as me. Every week she leaves the house to hang out somewhere else, mostly my house, until Eve is done drinking herself half to death with her friends. Apart from that, they're a pretty normal couple. Also, we're going to the Bahamas. It's a honeymoon. We had to put it off until we saved up enough to afford the vacation. Eva said excitedly. Really?
Ah, that's where
That's
it goes.
amazing. Hope you guys have a ton of fun. I said, trying my best to sound enthusiastic. I didn't even know they were married. Oh, we will. With that, she went on to give me a detailed explanation of everything they'd do there. 10 minutes in, I was about to cut her off, but before she said, "Hey, would you mind house sitting? We'll pay you, of course." What? There's no need to pay me, I'll do it. I said, I've known them for a year now, they're friends, you wouldn't want to be employed by a friend, right? Are you sure? This might be a bit hazardous, she said, sounding worried. Relax, Eva, I know how to handle a German Shepherd. I promise I won't be ripped to shreds. I said. I may have failed to mention they own a German Shepherd. Ha, okay, she said, giggling. But, seriously though, be careful, okay?
Ah, fuck.
She said, sounding serious again. Yeah, okay. I said. I don't know what she wants me to be careful of, but since she's insisting, then I guess it wouldn't hurt to be a little cautious. They were set to leave on Sunday, a week from now. On Sunday, I packed up my stuff and headed towards their house. Sarah was waiting for me on the porch. Hey, hope
There's
you
a
didn't
gnome
forget to
up
pack
here.
anything, and Eva did tell you Abba to be careful, right? She asked, sounding worried. God, did I seem that unreliable? Yes, Sarah,
This
she told me
is
twice.
Sparta!
I said, accidentally sounding a bit annoyed.
There we go.
Yeah, sorry, just wanted to make sure you knew. She said. Stop worrying about me, I'll be fine.
No.
You guys just have fun on your
I'm a
honeymoon.
gnome.
I said.
And you've been.
I mean, all
No.
I had to do was laze
I
around the
can't
house
get
the whole
underneath
day,
of it
right?
to clean
No
what's
change
there.
in my schedule. I stood on the porch, waving at them as they drove away in their car. Lex, their dog, was barking at the car as it drove away. I put a hand on his head to calm him down and made my way into the house. It was only 2 p.m., but I had spent 4 hours last night binging The Good Place, so I was pretty sleepy. I laid down on the couch, turned on the television. I can't sleep without white noise, and closed my eyes. Just as I was about to
you?
drift off to sleep, I heard a ding from my phone, signifying I had received a notification. Sighing, I got up and had a look at my phone.
How do I move it?
It was a voice message from Sarah. All right, Ray, we understand that you know how to handle a German Shepherd. Eva was laughing in the background. But this is important, so listen closely and make sure you follow these rules. I stuck a written copy on the fridge so you can look over them again. I'm going to repeat, make sure you follow the rules. Alright, let's start. 1. The mailman arrives at 2:30 p.m. You'll hear a truck pulling up. Once you hear the door open, no matter what, make sure that you do not alert the mailman of your presence. Close the windows, hide underneath the bed, whatever, just make sure he doesn't see or hear you. 2. If you hear a loud scratching noise coming from the wall behind the couch, just ignore it, it'll go away on its own. If it doesn't stop after 5 minutes, then leave the house and take a walk for 15 minutes, it'll be gone by the time you're back. 3. At 4:15 p.m. take Lex's extra bowl, fill it with the special feed that's in the fridge and leave it out on the porch. Don't even think about looking outside no matter what you hear. 4. If you decide to sleep in one of the bedrooms, then make sure all the windows and the door are locked. If you forget to do this, you'll wake up at 1 a.m. in the night, close your eyes and hope that it leaves without incident. If you sleep on the couch, then you don't need to worry about this rule. Rule 2 applies even while you're sleeping. 5. Don't go down the basement stairs without turning on the light first. Just don't. 6. Sometime during the night but before 11 p.m., Lex might suddenly start barking and clawing at the door. Open the door and let him out. Leave the door open until he comes back. Do not go outside. He might come back covered in blood. Just wash him with some water if this happens. Don't worry, he's not the one that's hurt. 7. Eat dinner before 11 p.m. or the smell might attract unwanted attention. 8. An old lady will appear at the door a few minutes after you finish breakfast. Open the door and greet her. If she offers you some apple pie, then accept and thank her. If it's any other flavor, then say, "I don't know you. I think you have the wrong house." Shut the door and watch her through the window until she leaves. This is important. Make sure you wait until she steps outside the property before you take your eyes off her. 9. Every day after you eat lunch, leave a small offering of food on the shrine in the backyard. These next few rules almost never happen, but it's doubly important that you follow them if they do. 10. On rare occasion, on Tuesdays and only Tuesdays, you might see a weird tree growing in the backyard that wasn't there before. Harvest the fruit growing on the tree and offer them at the shrine. 11. Sometimes at 2:30 p.m. instead of a mail truck, you'll see an ice cream truck pull up. Make sure no child approaches the truck. Now, breaking this rule won't cause you any harm personally, but I'd suggest following it if you don't have a strong stomach. If this was a prank, it was an amazing one. I was roaring with laughter until I was rudely interrupted by the sound of a truck pulling over. There's no way this is real, it has to be a coincidence. Now, I say that, but I'm pretty cowardly. I don't believe in the supernatural or anything like that, but spending a year on this subreddit does something to you. I bolted from the couch and closed the curtains. I ran up to the first story and closed all the curtains there too. I began climbing up to the terrace when I heard the truck's door slam close and footsteps begin to make their way to the front door. I just stood at the terrace, trying to gather up the courage to look down at the mailman. My heart felt like it was going to burst out of my chest. There's no way he knew that I'd gone up to the terrace, right? If he knew that, the rule would have been broken and something would have happened by now, and there's no reason a mailman would look up. I took in a deep breath and peered over the edge. He was staring straight at me. Slowly, he smiled. Shit. Why the hell did I do that? I fumbled for my phone. My hands were shaking so badly, I could barely type my password in. I called up Sarah. "Yes, Ray? Something the matter?" she asked nonchalantly. He saw me. "You dumb idiot," she yelled. "I deserved that. You tried to look at him, didn't you?" "Yeah, I did," I said, sounding guilty. She let out a long sigh and said, "You have 5 minutes, grab the keys to the basement, they're on the mantelpiece, and lock yourself inside the basement. Remember to turn on the lights this time and don't break any more rules. You got that?" "Yeah, I promise I won't," I mumbled. Just as I cut the call, I heard a loud bang from the front door. He was trying to get in. I ran faster than I've ever before to get the keys. Each passing second, the bangs from the front door only got louder. I grabbed the keys and frantically tried to find the switch for the basement lights. The banging was so loud now, I can't even hear my own thoughts. The door isn't going to hold much longer. Finally, I found the right switch. I practically jumped down the stairs as soon as I hit the switch and locked the door behind me. The basement was nothing like you'd expect from a place like this. Instead of being dark and musty, filled to the brim with ancient furniture and articles of previous owners, this place was actually quite lively. The walls were a bright pink. There was a couch on the far end of the room, a small coffee table in the center, and a huge bookshelf containing at the very least 50 books. My thoughts were interrupted by the sound of breaking wood. The mailman was inside. I stood with my back against the wall, holding my breath. I could hear him go through each and every inch of the house, knocking on all the doors, checking every nook and cranny. Eventually, I heard him descending the stairs to the basement. He stopped in front of the door and knocked loudly 3 times, again and again. "I know you're there," he said. "Come out." I didn't move a muscle, I didn't even dare breath. He
Breath.
said it again, but this time he sounded like Eva. Once again in my mother's voice, my sister's, and finally my voice. Even though I couldn't see him, I could feel him getting angry. Bang! He slammed the door with his fists and let out a blood-curdling, inhumane scream. He grabbed the doorknob and began twisting and pleading. "Please, please let me inside. I'm begging you. I'll do anything, anything. Just let me in," he said, shouting the last sentence. He sounded like he was crying. I don't know what in God's name that thing is, but I am not letting it inside. I slid down to the floor and curled into a ball, trying to block out the pleading and screaming. I don't know how long I sat in there, but eventually it sounded like he was gone. I got up slowly, my legs were cramped from being curled into a ball for so long. I put my ear against the door, trying to listen for him, but it sounded like he was gone. I opened the door and went outside. I spent the next half hour looking through the house to see if he was hiding in a closet or something, but I couldn't find anything. Eventually I just gave up. I'm never going to break a rule ever again.
Yeah, I've heard that one before. Alright. I'm gonna put on this spooky music until I've finally gotten this thing done. And then we'll probably end here tonight. 'Cause it's quite late, actually. I've been streaming for quite a while. It's almost been 4 hours. Music. Yes. Buttress. Figureheads. Windows. Wall bases. That's it. There we go. Whoop. Whoop. This is butchers. Oh, there we go. There's definitely a wall base without a gap. Did I not get them all? Ah, this one. There we go. We got a window left. It's not that one. It's not this one. It's not that one there. That one. Maybe this one? Yeah, this one. There we go. And now a figurehead. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's that boy right up there. Right up there. Can't reach it. it's loud. Sorry. I'll adjust it. There we go. Sorry about that. They said you were the best, and now I'm a believer. The temple looks immaculate. That's gonna give them such a lift, and I can look forward to more years of free labor on the farm. Thanks again. Alright. This big old place. That's it. I don't think there's any, water challenge, time challenge. So they're going to be posting some new ones soon, like within the next week, I think. But for now, that is the end of them. I do have House Flipper though, so of course, you know, there's something to play there. But, with that being said, thank you for coming, anyone that has come, anyone that's watching right now. And I want you all to have a good night, okay? Because I'm going to bed, and you should go to bed too, probably. At least if you're on EST. Anyway. I will see you next time. Bye-bye!